Philpott. He's participated in the sport for 5 years. He plans on going to the trade school to pursue certification in information technology. His favorite memory is first time going to the University of Cincinnati for the UC Band Day. And a word of thanks to the team. He wants to thank his mother and father for raising him, thank all his friends in the band for being by his side, and wants to thank his IT instructor for setting him up for a successful path. Give a round of applause to Mr. Timothy Philpott. Okay. Our next senior is Rachel Taylor. She was escorted by Mary Robinson, her mother, and she participated in sports for 5 years. Her future plans are to become an emergency medical technician and attend college at Sinclair Community College. Her favorite memory is when she was doing a back handspring and nearly broke her hip. And she'd like to thank the girls for being amazing her high school year and wouldn't want the bond with anyone else. Everybody, this is Rachel Taylor. Our next senior is Kylie Wyatt. She is escorted by Brittany Green and Darren Wyatt. She's been participating in sports for 3 years. Her future plans are to go to college to be a NICU nurse. Her favorite memory is watching Rachel Taylor almost break her neck doing a back handspring. She just wanted me to tell you she's fine. Word of thanks to her team. She'd like to thank her parents, her boyfriend, her nana, her best friend, and her mom for always believing in her and loving her. And she said, also my Ava baby. Everybody, Miss Kylie Wyatt. Our next senior is Ocean Canyon. He is escorted by Melody Hobbs, his mother, and Serena Canyon, sister. He's participated in sports for 3 years. Future plans to attend an out-of-state college and major in marine biology. His favorite memory is being a part of the first New Miami High School football team to host a playoff game. Words of thanks to the teams. A special thanks to Jordan Robinette for persuading me to come back and play when I was ready to hang the pads up for good. Ladies and gentlemen, Ocean Canyon. Our next senior is Brandon Civerella. He is escorted by his mom, Jessica, and dad, Dan. His future plans is to go to college and further his knowledge in sports medicine. His favorite memory is when I was out deadlifted by my brother during weight training. Words of thanks, he wants to thank my senior class. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Civerella. Our next senior is Deanza Duncan. Deanza is escorted by Deanza Duncan Sr. and Tracy Plowman, and he's participated in sports for 3 years. His future plans is to go to college for sports medicine. His favorite memory is scoring his first touchdown. And he would like to thank New Miami and thank to everyone who pushed him to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deanza Duncan. Our next senior is Blake Haft. He's escorted by Jim Lakes and Nikki Lakes. He's participated in sports for 4 years. His plans to attend college, continue my athletic and academic career. His favorite memory is winning an MVC back-to-back, and he'd like to thank to my uncle and aunt for everything they've done for me over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Blake Hurt, sorry. You're good. That fast enough, or you want me to go a little faster? Our next senior is Jerry Hilton. He's escorted by Pam Hilton and Brandon Hilton. His participated in sports for 4 years, and the future plans of going to college to further my academic and athletic career. His favorite memories going 10-0 and a playoff game. Words of thanks to the team. I'd like to thank coaches for the time and effort you gave us to succeed, to be where we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerry Hilton. Oh man, I got time. Quickly. Okay. Our next senior is Mr. Donovan Howard. He's escorted by Donnie Howard and Susan Howard. Participated in sports for 4 years. His future plan is to get my certification in precision machine through Butler Tech and pursue a degree in business. I hope to continue my football career at the next level as a long snapper. His favorite memory is the hit I had in the title game versus Dayton Christian that helped us win the game and clinch the MVC title. First of all, he would like to thank his mom and dad and the rest of his family for everything they do and for always being there for him. I'd like to thank my Uncle Damon and Grandpa Charlie and Grandma Joe for watching over him and protecting him from heaven. I'd like to thank his girlfriend Olivia, Kenny, and Heather for everything they do for me. To my team and coaches, I'd like to say thank you and remember to savor every moment because it goes by faster than you could ever imagine. And a very special thank you to the Ziegler family for all they do for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Donovan Howard. It's a book. Our next senior, Josiah Matthews. He's escorted by Larry Matthews and Morel Matthews. He's participated in sports for 2 years. His future plans to go to college for business entrepreneurship. His favorite memory is being escorted home with police as a team. Words of thanks. Thank everybody for making his high school experience a memorable one. Ladies and gentlemen, Josiah Matthews. Our next senior is Jordan Robinette. He's escorted by Joetta Trent, his mother. He's participated in sports for 4 years. His future plans, he said he doesn't know yet. His favorite memory is winning the MVC. He would like to thank his family for pushing him every day to make him a better person and a better player. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jordan Robinette. Our next senior is Mr. Dylan Spivey. He is escorted by David Spivey and Brandy Spivey. Participated in sports for 4 years. His future plans to attend Wilmington College for exercise science. His favorite memory is winning back-to-back conference championships. He would like to thank his team for always having his back and keeping him motivated. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dylan Spivey. Let me know when she gets down there. I just seen her. Our last senior of the night is Mr. Trey Robinette. He is escorted by Joetta Trent, his mother. He's participated in sports for 4 years. His future plans to play college football to enter the workforce. His favorite memory is beating Dayton Christian to win the first MVC title since 1980. Word of thanks, he would like to thank his coaches and his teammates, and especially his mother, for all her dedication to make him a better man. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Robinette. You want me to do these real fast? Let's give our seniors one more round of applause. We would like to honor our St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans seniors quickly. Number 2, Zakeem Hunley. Number 3, Jaden Wood. 12, Nate Burson Lyons. Number 13, Ahmed Cone. Number 23, Kevin Benford. 30, Lenny Thornton. 31, Jaden Page. 32, Isaac Drew. 39, Aiden Allen. 50, Elijah Miller. 60, Alex Finneran. 61, Eddie Clark. 71, Trevor Fleek. and number 84, Scott Bean. And then on their cheerleading side, Maddie Anderson, Renee Dale, Lauren Early, Seth Hall, Kenya Johnston, Summer Lineker, Jada Ritter, AJ Sexton, Autumn Smith, and Mariah Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our senior night program. Let's give them one more round of applause. I like it better in a gymnasium.
That was Dan Markham on the PA for the senior night festivities here at Merrifield in New Miami, the Village. Joel Sackenheim and hashtag Dennis Dan, Dr. Dan Vogt here with you.
Hi, Joel.
How we doing, Dan? Welcome to the Village.
Excellent, excellent.
We get a little Division 7 and Division 6 football tonight. It's a little different than what you're used to.
Fantastic venue here. I love the real grass field. I was talking with Joel earlier tonight. It seems to be a rare thing these days, these grass fields. We're at one now, and the only other one in Butler County is the Madison Mohawks.
Madison Mohawks is the only two left of the grass fields.
Yes.
And of course, Baden will be playing on grass field tonight, too, up at Fenwick. It's right across the county line in Franklin? Warren County.
Warren, yeah.
Warren County. Absolutely. So, New Miami Vikings. It's been a weird year. They're 1-0, and it's week 4.
Yes, that was, they defeated Purcell Marion. Yes.
Chris Vogt and I had that game down at Norwood Shea Stadium a couple weeks ago on the TV.
Excellent.
New Miami was supposed to play in week 1 against North College Hill. That was the first time it was supposed to be senior night here on this field. Unfortunately, one of the New Miami students on the football team tested positive for COVID. The whole team kind of went into the quarantine mode the way that it's supposed to with the OHSAA. They followed all the protocols. They weren't ready to play yet in week 1. They had to wait until week 2 to begin their season, where they, of course, as you mentioned, beat Purcell Marion by a score of, I believe it was 30-14 or 30-12.
30-12.
Purcell Marion missed the extra points there. Yep. So then week 3, they were supposed to have senior night here against Miami Valley Christian Academy. And Chris Vogt and I called that game here last year, where MVCA had only 12 kids that they brought, one of which was on crutches.
Oh.
We got the coin toss being taken here. Let's see what we got here. It looks like St. Bernard Elmwood Place has won the toss and has chosen to defer. That means New Miami is going to go ahead and receive the first half kickoff. St. Bernard Elmwood Place will defend the south end zone, Dan.
Okay. So when they defer to the second half, have you ever seen a team kick off twice?
I have.
You have seen that?
I have seen that. Baden did in Coach Dave Worth's second year against Jefferson Township. They won the coin toss.
Okay.
They forgot to use the word defer.
Oh.
And you got to know the language. They were excited to win the coin toss, and they told the referee that they would kick.
Okay.
So the referee took that as them choosing their first half, what they wanted to do.
I'm sure Coach Worth was not happy about that.
He was not happy with the referee for not helping the senior captain in his first game of the year through that. You're supposed to say defer, then the other team can say they want to receive, and then you get to come out to begin the third quarter and say you want to receive.
I was hoping you were going to say they just had a unbelievable 1985 Chicago Bears defense.
Oh my goodness!
And then, but I always remember Worth in his time. He was the spread offense machine.
Yes, so, he was. Yes,
he's at Moeller this year.
He's at Moeller this year. He was at Purcell Marion the last couple years. They've got a new coach. Their AD, actually, Purcell Marion, became their head football coach. He was already in-house. And so he coached that game against New Miami. That was their senior night down at Purcell Marion. It's my 6th game I've called this year. You're 5th.
Right.
And it's been senior night every single time.
It's a theme, isn't it?
It is a theme.
It's a strange year with the coronavirus. So we're
yes,
going to see this theme
last
every week.
year, Miami Valley Christian Academy comes in here. Brings 12 players, one of which is on crutches. And the other 11 were supposed to play all game long. One of them got hurt middle of the third quarter, and they had to finish that game playing with 10 players. We eventually had the running clock, and that was the first time in my life since I had seen the running clock that I actually was like, okay, I understand this now.
Yes, well, I guess there is no penalty for 10 men on the field. Obviously, there is for 12, but heck, you could have 3 guys on the field and not get a penalty.
I don't know what the legal formation ramifications for offense are. Certainly defense, you can get by with that.
Yes.
So that game last week, New Miami against Miami Valley Christian Academy, also gets canceled, not
Okay.
because of COVID, but because the Lions could not come up with enough players to be able to play. They should be back in the Battle of the Lions in the Miami Valley Conference. They're playing CCPA tonight, and they're supposed to be underway. So this is the third shot at senior night for New Miami.
You said that the Lions. What happened with the Lions again?
Miami Valley Christian Academy
Yes.
did not have 11 players able to suit up in the
Well,
game
my
last
Detroit Lions only had 7 or 8 actually play decently on Sunday, this past Sunday.
And it looks like DeAndre Swift played most of his body but not his 2 hands, right?
Yes, he looked the ball in and just went, oops.
Oh, my goodness. My
and
goodness.
the rest is history.
All right. So you speak about the old Chicago Bears and the old 4-6 defense or whatever. We're talking to the defensive coordinator for St. Bernard Elmwood Place before the game, and he was talking about the old 50 defense, which is now referred to as a 3-4.
Yes, 3-4. That was probably way before your time, but in the 1970s, Pittsburgh and a lot of the AFC teams were running 3-4s, whereas the NFC teams were running 4-3s.
Interesting.
Yes. So a 3-4, basically you have your 2 linemen on each side of a big, strong nose tackle. You have your 4 linebackers, and the linebackers have got to move in this 5-0, as he called it, or 3-4 defense. They got to be able to do a lot of things out there.
The DC had mentioned to us about traditional 3-4 defense. You've got your nose tackle, as you mentioned, and your 2 defensive linemen there alongside the nose tackle. And he had mentioned that your 2 outside linebackers were really more hybrid defensive ends in the traditional 50 defense. However, because the spread offense has been catching on more and more through college and through high school football, you almost need more of a linebacker that's a hybrid player able to play in pass coverage in order to effectively play that type of defense against whatever the other team runs against you.
Yeah, and so you're going to actually see maybe even skill position players that, go both ways. You're going to see running backs out there as linebackers on the sides because they need the speed.
New Miami, it all starts and begins with, it ends really with Trey Robinette.
Trey Robinette, yes. Senior quarterback, defensive back. He's 5'9", 175 pounds. And just looking at his box score from the victory earlier this year, their only game, actually.
Yeah, their only game against Purcell Marion.
Yeah, 30-12. He's took part in all the scores. I mean, pretty much. 14-yard touchdown run. He had a 11-yard touchdown pass to Deanza Duncan, and then he threw another touchdown pass to his twin brother, Jordan. So
that before halftime, by the way, was a really interesting clock management situation.
Okay.
They were up 6-0 on Purcell Marion, and they punched a touchdown in the second quarter.
Okay.
To make it 12-0. They end up getting the ball back, driving late, and they were out of timeouts. They only had about 19 seconds left and no timeouts remaining when they threw that pass to Jordan Robinette, and it was basically a route where he was on the outside, kind of crossed into the inside, caught it and ducked in and took it into the end zone. Kind of a little risky, though, with the clock management. That put them up 18-0 at halftime of that game and really kind of solidified and took the air out of Purcell Marion's sails.
Okay, well, since you witnessed that game personally, I'm noticing that on each score they went for 2-point conversions. Do they not believe in their kickers, or do they just like to go for 2? Do you know what the story is there?
Well, if you look at the box score, and I know those of you that are at home, you'll see the first touchdown run from Trey Robinette. Trey Robinette is also the place kicker. And, Dan, if they try to attempt an extra point tonight, you being a traditional football historian type of guy will appreciate that Trey Robinette is a straight-on toe ball kicker.
Oh, wow. Straight-on kicker. No soccer style.
The old Lou Groza or whatever?
Yeah, Lou Groza.
Was he a toe ball kicker?
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Dempsey wasn't a toe ball kicker because he didn't have any toes, but yeah.
Well, yeah, he was a stub ball kicker.
Stub ball kicker, exactly.
Yeah, he kicked the 63-yard field goal to beat the Detroit Lions.
Of course they did.
In 1970.
It's always the Detroit Lions.
It really is.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
I thank you, Dave, for making me a Lions fan. You've killed me for 40 years with this. That's my brother.
Trey Robinette, the first extra point, he was a little short.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing a straight-on kicker. You don't know how long it's been. I mean, that'll be interesting.
One of the interesting things about Division 7 football, St. Bernard Elmwood Place, is Division 6. There's not a whole lot of difference between Division 6 and Division 7, is you are really seeing players on both teams, almost everybody going both ways.
Yes.
It is a tiring and an exhausting game. And I've not seen enough Division VII football in my life. I've, obviously gone to more Baden games than anything else in their Division III.
Sometimes
some
they
guys
were
go both
4,
ways.
yeah.
Sometimes they've been 4. Sometimes they don't. But virtually all of these players, you can count on seeing a significant number of snaps. And you look at your studs from St. X or Elder or Fairfield or Hamilton High or whatever that are Division I, and not nearly as many of those at the Division I level are playing both ways.
And you watch those Division I guys, they're playing hard. They're running off the field, wanting the Gatorade, wanting to rest on the bench. And these Division VII guys, they're like, come on, man. We go both ways.
They go both ways, and they don't have the TV timeouts.
Oh, wow.
Really, I mean, you got the between quarters or whatever. When you have a change of possession, we squeeze a commercial in typically when that happens, but it doesn't go for very long, and they're right back at it. So these guys have to be in really, really good condition.
So you're saying our commercials are going to be, we're on video tonight. So you're saying there might be like 15-second commercials here.
Well, that's what they've been on radio. It's
okay.
15 seconds here, 30 seconds here. You squeeze something in there, but it's not.
So stay tuned. Don't run away. Stay tuned and listen to us tonight.
Well, it's not like, and you've been to some of those NFL games, being a Lions fan, where you've got Matthew Stafford sitting there in the huddle, and they're trying to call their play, and they got another 2 minutes where they're in the huddle because everyone's sitting there at Ford Field or wherever you happen to be. And you're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and what you're waiting for, of course, is for the television to come back from commercial break.
Well, speaking of the NFL, I watched Joe Burrow last night, and I'm telling you, Bengal fans, he is the real deal, okay? He has so much poise, so much control for a guy who never played any preseason snaps, who's got a brand-new offensive line in front of him. He almost got killed on a couple plays last night.
Oof.
I'll tell you, the future looks bright for the Bengals. I must say that.
This year for Cincinnati, I would think that my Carolina Panthers fall into this boat. I would think that Joey Vogt's Miami Dolphins, as well as the New York Giants. I think all 4 of those teams probably are in a similar place right now.
So you like Daniel Jones there on the Giants?
Well, all 4 of those guys have some quarterback play to be hopeful in.
Yeah.
They've got some big offensive line troubles where they're trying to improve and get better with the line. But I think nobody expects those 4 teams to make the playoffs this year. I don't think anybody's going to judge them based on the ability of whether they win enough games, whether they don't win enough games or whatever. I think for all 4 of those teams, the Bengals, the Panthers, the Giants, the Dolphins, you're probably judging them on the quality of play that they're putting out there on the field.
Correct.
And the improvement that you're seeing. The hope for all 4 of those teams is to make a deeper playoff run in the 21 season. But you need to do all of these little things right to get all your T's crossed and your I's dotted and the player development to be able to make this work for this season first to set the stage.
Okay. Just so people watching on the screen here, there's a minute and 6 left to go prior to kickoff, and it looks like they're getting ready to bust through a banner here. If you can read that, Joel.
Yeah, I'm trying to read this here. It's a little bit off our frame, and
here we go. Cameraman's
starting to come back a little bit. The hard thing, for those of you that are kind of tuning in here, our cameraman is upstairs.
Yes.
Because the press box here at New Miami is very cinder blocky. Couple of windows to see through and then a lot of cinder block. And so having a camera down here at this level alongside of Dan Markham, the PA announcer, is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to be able to see. You'd have massive, massive spots you wouldn't be able to get a picture on. So our cameraman Ron is upstairs.
Yes.
And we can't really communicate with him very easily with what is in and out of the shot.
Ron might be taking a nap up there. We might want to yell up there to Ron.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Well, such it is. And
well, the new Miami Vikings are getting ready to take the field. It looks like everyone's kind of getting ready for a national anthem. You see people standing at attention, facing the flag.
Here we go.
But I've not heard the national anthem be started play yet. We will, of course, bring that to you as best as it can be piped through our little microphones here.
New Miami's coming out on the far end. Now the cameraman is showing you this. They got the American flag and what's that, a school flag?
It's a New Miami Vikings flag.
There it is, yes.
It's got the traditional Minnesota Viking with the green hats.
Yes, interesting. We'll comment on the uniforms. I like to do my uniform grades
Looks like the banner they're going to run through says, "Take in these lights, you'll miss these nights."
Oh.
Senior night 2021.
A little melancholy message there. I like it.
It's like the old Cup song, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone," right?
That's right.
I think it's Anna Kendrick. It's a little more modern-day music reference for you, Dan.
You are correct. I only know the old stuff. I'm old.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. So we all kind of waiting on each other in a holding pattern. We got the AD, Eric Hayes, up here with us now, as well as Dan Markham, the PA guy, and they're kind of sitting up here waiting, and down on the field, everyone's kind of waiting, and we'll see who's going to blink first here, Dan. Senior night here at Mara Field as the new Miami Vikings attempt to go 2-0. And here come the Vikings. You can hear the new Miami band a little bit in the background there, Dan. We got a band here tonight, a live band for a D7 school.
They rip through the banner pretty cleanly. It's always good to have that banner pre-ripped a little bit right in the center. That way when they hit it, it will tear square.
Tear square. I like it.
Now, growing up, I always knew St. Bernard. Oh, hold on a second. We have the national anthem.
Look at the flag of our country as New Miami's marching band, directed by Miss Dancy, plays the national anthem.
That was the new Miami band playing the Star Spangled Banner. So we're going to go to commercial and come right back here from Mara Field, Senior Night, New Miami, and St. Bernard.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
All right, we are back here at Mara Field getting ready for kickoff of Week 4, the second game of the season for the new Miami Vikings. St. Bernard Elmwood Place, the Titans, the visiting team tonight, comes in here with a 2-1 record. They lost opening game to Cincinnati College Prep Academy, and then, Dan, they won their next two.
Bounced back nicely, didn't they?
Cincinnati Country Day and North College Hill, who New Miami was supposed to play in Week 1. Those were the two wins for the Titans. And the Titans are going to be kicking off here toward the north end zone. And it looks like we're going to have Deanza, Duncan, and Jerry Hilton deep to receive for the new Miami Vikings. We'll see how long this kick goes.
I'd automatically not kick it to Deanza Duncan. if I was St. Bernard.
Jameer Mitchell going to go ahead and wave people down, and it looks like Jaden Wood is going to be the kicker for the Titans. Squib kick caught by Brandon Civerella, and Civerella gets out past the 35-yard line and is tackled by Jalon Parker.
Jalon Parker is only a sophomore, running back and defensive back.
So, Dan, you're going to get your first look at New Miami here.
Yes, I am.
Trey Robinette can do a lot of things well. And what surprised us last week or 2 weeks ago when Chris and I had the Purcell Marion game is how much they ran it with Dylan Spivey up the middle. It's a team that is used to going deep to Deanza Duncan. And don't think the Titans don't know about him. He's number 2, and he's going to be on your screen, it looks like, at the very tip top of your screen there as the Vikings go from right to left. But you can see that.
Yes, you can.
Shotgun formation for Robinette as Moffitt goes in motion, and it is a jet sweep to Moffitt,
Look
who's
at
looking
that.
to throw deep, and he way overthrows everybody there. Zakeem Hundley in the coverage there for the Titans. Deanza Duncan, the intended receiver.
Deanza Duncan there stopped his route. He felt like he was grabbed, and I could hear the coach on New Miami yell, he held him, but no flag there. So
Emmerich Moffitt is a sophomore. New Miami, as you're going to learn about these Vikings tonight, Dan, very, very special senior class.
Okay.
And a lot of guys as juniors last year really stepped up to lead them to that undefeated regular season as Trey Robinette now has one running back, and the man in motion is Howard, and the handoff is to Donovan Howard.
nice run.
Referee stops the clock, but I don't know why, because he only gained 8 yards, and now he
the
winds
one.
it.
That was Elijah Miller on the tackle for St. Bernard, Elmwood Place.
Can't forget the Elmwood Place.
Yeah, we'll discuss why they've had that all along.
They have had that all along.
It's just us old guys only know them as St. Bernard, but we'll tell you why they're emphasizing it, and they're actually being called SBEP now.
That's right, SBEP.
And not to be confused with ESPN like their coach told us.
Robinette in the shotgun formation. The man in motion is Jerry Helton. Hands off to the fullback, Spivey. Spivey's going to rumble his way, and I think the second effort may actually be enough.
That was a strong run. Isaac Drew on the tackle there for St. Bernard.
I think he got a very generous spot from the referee on the far sideline. The referee on the New Miami sideline coming in had him marked about a half-yard short.
Wow.
But the guy at the top of your screen came in, marked him maybe a quarter-yard short, maybe right on. But, again, everybody this year, Dan, as you've noticed, seems to be rounding up or rounding down to the nearest yard line.
Yeah, it's easier for beanbag placement.
Especially in the grass. You could lose it in some of this tall grass.
It's a little beanbag under that grass.
Robinette motions for Donovan Howard to go a little wider and then do his jet sweep motion.
Ooh.
And the slant pattern to Deanza Duncan. He's finally tackled by Zakeem Hundley there. Dan, you like that play call?
I love the quick slant. It's a classic, as my cousin Neil would say. A classic.
A classic.
That's right.
That might have been an RPO, where he could have chosen to hand the ball to the jet sweeping Howard.
Well, you throw it to your best man there, and he's one-on-one, slanting over the middle. Great play.
The Vikings are going to like to get man coverage on Deanza Duncan all night long if they can get it.
Oh, yeah, if you can double him, St. Bernard, they'd be well advised to do that. Now, here he is one-on-one down here. The two number twos going at it.
That's Zakeem Hundley that is man covering Deanza Duncan. Possible safety help over the top. Helton in motion. Spivey, the handoff.
Nice run.
That's about 6 yards on the play there, Dan.
Yes.
Second down and 4 coming up for the New Miami Vikings.
I've noticed a trend in high school and in college. The best players seem to have the single-digit numbers. And we'll discuss that a little later.
A lot of that going on. Yeah.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Well, certainly with Robinette, number 5, his brother Robinette, number 7.
Yes.
And you've got Deanza Duncan, number 2. Those are key players
yes, and
for the Vikings.
St. Bernard has a couple single-digit studs that we'll talk about.
Rollout, he's looking for Duncan. Robinette doesn't have a lot to work with, and he has even less to work with as a holding penalty is probably being thrown by the referee behind the play. Flag was thrown about a yard in the backfield.
Referee got knocked down over there by the Gatorade. I don't know if it showed on the picture because I'm just looking at it live. He's limping right now. He's kind of hurt.
Yep, and it is going to be a holding penalty on New Miami. That's going to back him up, and it's 2nd and 21.
Big penalty there.
Yep. Now, the New Miami kids did a 2-week orientation.
Okay.
In person. Last 2 weeks. The whole standard A through L last name show up half the time, and the M through Z last name show up the other half the time.
And Wednesday they clean the school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that 2-week orientation was to prep them for online, which starts this next week. Today was the last day of in-person classes for New Miami until they reevaluate at the end of the quarter.
Okay.
Trey Robinette. He's got 2 guys coming. Spivey gets a big block. Prevents Robinette from getting blown up. But it's not going to really matter in the end because it's going to be an incomplete pass intended for Jerry Hilton, and it's going to be 3rd and 21.
Tough there asking your quarterback to roll left or run left and throw across his body like that.
Yeah, definitely credit for Spivey, though. He had number 7, Greg Miller, there for the Titans, was rumbling down very hard, closing in on Robinette, and you could hear the block from up here.
St. Bernard, they got a really small little Titan on their helmet. They look like they got the Bengals Color Rush uniforms there, those white ones, sharp.
Be nice if the NFL got rid of the 1 helmet rule and would allow the Bengals to have a white Tiger
going deep.
helmet. He's looking for number 12. That's Howard, and it is slightly overthrown, and that's going to lead to 4th down, and the Vikings are going to be forced to punt on their opening drive. St. Bernard Owen plays defense holds, Dan.
Yeah, I think the penalty obviously pretty much stopped the drive. Can't have a holding penalty there.
That does hurt.
He's back at the 20 for the return. That would be number 2, Zakeem Hunley. We'll talk about Zakeem here in a minute. His coach had high praise for him.
He really did. He really did. Helton's going to punt it. Takes the roll, and Hunley buffs it and does fall on top of it. So, oh my goodness. The Coach Corson there for St. Bernard Elma plays a few nervous moments there as the Titan offense remembers to come on the field.
Oh, a little remember the Titan reference. I gotcha. Well, Zakeem there, quarterback, defensive back. He's a senior. He's kind of the, the way the ball goes through him. Talked to the coach about him. They said he could play Division I MAC football next year. Yes.
Jaden Wood, he also spoke very highly of. That's number 3 for the Titans. Pistol formation, handoff. Not a lot of yards there.
No. New Miami was right there on the play.
Oh, my goodness. That handoff, it looks like, was to number 10, Jalon Parker.
I'm going to give Dontez O'Neal the credit for the tackle there, the linebacker.
Woo. Not a lot of room there, Dan.
No.
Very spread out wide receiver if you look at the very top of the screen.
Yeah.
And the throw is over everybody's head. He had both Isaac Drew and Aiden Allen both out there on the left side of the formation, and that ball just basically sailed over both of them. And just like that, it's a very quick 3rd and long for the Titans.
Let's look for Jaden Wood here, the senior wide receiver, number 3. We'll see where he lines up this time. He's coming on the far
the
right.
Very bottom. He's actually off of the frame right now.
He's off the frame. He's got one-on-one coverage
Deanza
down
Duncan
here.
is covering him. You can see that on the
Kind
picture.
of the 2 best players. He's looking his way.
There's your slant, Dan.
Oh, there he goes.
He's got room.
And he is gone.
You called it. Well, look out. You got number 20, Civerella, trying to catch him. And Civerella did not quite catch him.
I called that one. You are correct.
The slant pattern catch and run for the Titans, 85 yards.
We talked to the coach before the game about Jaden Wood. He feels Jaden Wood could play any Division I college team. Getting his grades is the thing. Jaden's got to hit those books, and he could play for the big-time schools.
Definitely skilled enough. There was a flag thrown at the end of the play. It was a sideline warning.
Okay.
And that's not going to affect the outcome of the touchdown. It's not even going to be yardage-wise because I guess the benches get one warning before there's a 15-yard penalty thrown. The second time, they would have too many people outside the box and onto the field.
Okay.
We're going to see here if we're going for 2, and it looks like that's how they're lining up. Zakeem Hundley still out there in the pistol formation with the running back Jalon Parker.
Jaden Wood down on the right.
Him.
One-on-one coverage here. Run option.
And it is the quarterback. That is Hundley.
Zakeem Hundley.
And he runs it into the end zone. So, just like that on a big play, 8:17 remaining in the first quarter. It's the Titans 8 and the Vikings nothing. We'll be back here from Merrifield on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Back here at Merrifield, Joel Sackenheim and Tony Romo here in the broadcast booth. Dan, you called that one to Jaden Wood.
Yes, I did. I just like the matchup down there. 1-on-1, he hit the slant, and boy, he was off to the races.
Man, Deanza Duncan is used to doing that to other people on the offensive side. He was the defensive back in man coverage there, and Jaden Wood showed him, hey, there's some equal talent on this field here.
Yes, there is. I might have prematurely said he's gone, but he ended up being gone.
He ended up being gone. Short little hop kick from Wood.
Ooh.
Into the hands of Donovan Howard, who runs it past the 40-yard line, and that is where Trey, Robinette, and the boys from US 127 will come back onto the field offensively.
Just a beautiful night here, I'll tell you.
Oh, my gosh. The sun's starting to set down. You got a little bit of that fall Christmas is going to come in the air as the sun goes down, Dan.
Oh, I know. I love this old press box with the cinder blocks.
Cinder block press box.
This is old school. I love it.
Is.
Grass field.
And we're right over top of the concession stand. You can smell some of that, too.
Oh, man. It's going to make me hungry.
Chris Vogt and I found a hot dog wrapper from November that was still up here waiting for us from the hot dog that was given to him.
At least not the hot dog itself.
The hot dog itself was consumed
against
New Bremen back in November. Handoff to Jerry Hilton on the jet sweep, and he's not going to have a lot of room there for the Vikings.
Jaden Wood literally picked him up off the ground and moved him back, but they gave him the forward progress.
1 yard gain.
Yes.
2nd and 9 from the New Miami own 42-yard line.
I like this Division 6 and 7 football. You know, you see the quarterback playing defensive end. That's kind of cool.
What was St. Bernard? We were talking to their DC, and he had a couple of players that were listed as both nose tackle and running back.
Yes, that's right.
How's that for a combination?
That's a stocky running back is what it is.
We
got a false start
there.
Oh, he's angry about it, too.
Jordan Robinette was the slot receiver. He was the one supposed to go in motion there. Deanza Duncan, I think, might have forgotten that he had another pal there with him. He also kind of flinches if he was going in motion, and that led to the false start.
And I'm going to say that Jared Caldwell also jumped there.
Offensive
for New Miami.
lineman?
Oh, yes. Big guy, 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a junior, so he has more time to even grow more.
As Dave Thomas would say, where's the beef?
Right there.
Couple of those nose tackle running backs for St. Bernard and some of those offensive linemen there for the New Miami Vikings.
Okay.
We're down below 5 seconds on the play clock. There is the snap. Robinette looking for the flat. Intended for Spivey. And the coverage for Greg Miller there, Dan.
Interesting coverage. He didn't turn back and look at the ball, just stuck his arm up there, boink, right off of it.
I think they call that face guarding.
No, that's not face guarding. That's lucky and good defense at the same time.
Maybe you're reading the wide receiver's eyes and just kind of try to put your hand where his eyes are leading you to believe the ball might be.
Absolutely.
It doinked, that's for sure. 3rd down, 14 yards to go. We're down below 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter here. Joel Sackenheim, Dr. Dan Vogt, pleased to have you with us here on television tonight, Dan.
That's right. We're big time tonight.
Look out. We got pictures to see what's going on here. Robinette, good pocket, Looking deep for Moffitt.
Oh, off his hand.
Jalon Parker, the starting running back, playing defensive back on the defensive side of the ball for the Titans, breaks that up. That was a nice throw by Trey Robinette.
He spotted it well.
4th and 14, and the Vikings are going to have to punt. In last year's game, New Miami did not have a lot of competitive games last season, a lot of blowouts.
Wow.
But the game against St. Bernard Elmwood Place down in St. Bernard was a 27-18 victory.
Okay.
One of the closest games that New Miami played all year long, as this punt's going to basically come to a dead stop and be down by Jose Civerella.
Oh, great. Roll that L, man. I love it.
Civerella.
Yes, ruffles have ridges. So you're saying this is kind of a revenge match here for St. Bernard.
Well, St. Bernard would like to get him. Yeah, this was absolutely the closest game. The only game that New Miami won last year that was within 10 points was this game down at St. Bernard last year. So the Titans are not going to be as afraid of New Miami as, say, some of the other teams in the Miami Valley Conference Gray Division.
Absolutely.
Pistol formation now for Zakeem Hunley. And he hands it off to the up back. That's Lenny Thornton. And Thornton stumbles his way for 9 yards. He's listed as a tight end / defensive lineman. That's one of the guys that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That they use as a running back.
Beast mode.
Beast mode.
With no Skittles.
St. Bernard getting close to midfield. 2nd and 1 for the Titans. Against the New Miami defense. They look like they're in about a 4-3 defense. Handoff. Attempted run by Jalon Parker, and
Stopped
he is
in the backfield.
stuffed by Tug Jones and Nathan Civerella of New Miami.
You know, with a name like Tug Jones, he's got to stop a lot of people.
Tug Jones plays one of the 2 defensive tackle spots for the Vikings.
There you go. Tug.
Tug. 3rd and 5. Looks like Fairfield has taken a 7-0 lead over Lakota West. Princeton has a 7-0 lead over Lakota East. Both Lakotas on the road tonight.
Interesting
Handoff.
call.
Nate Burson-Lyons. And he's lying on his back after he meets up with the New Miami defensive line. Dylan Spivey in there.
Yes. A linebacker / running back. Tell you, he had one-on-one coverage down there with Jaden Wood, and they neglected to take advantage of that. We saw how it worked on the first drive. I'd have to go to that well more often.
Definitely a lot of potential there for some big plays for the Titans. Isaac Drew, the punter, lining up with Deanza Duncan back. The only of the 22 players that is not on frame right now. Obviously.
He's respecting him. He's way back.
Chavaria almost got in there for a block, and that ball is angled out of bounds. A little coffin corner, and we'll see which of the 5-yard lines. Looks like the 40-yard line.
That's only a 20-yard punt.
Dan, you had said last week about the rounding up. Tell us how this works for our New Miami audience.
Well, if the ball's going to be rolling out of bounds, it never goes out of bounds at the 39.5 or the 40.5. They always put it right there at the 40.
And when it goes out of bounds in the air, kind of sky high, it never goes out of bounds at the 43.
No, it doesn't.
Pick a 5-yard line of some sort, right?
It keeps the chain gangs from having to come out and do measurements.
That's true. That's true. Handoff is to Spivey up the middle.
Running like a beast.
Oh, good gain. 11 yards on the carry. Got to like that, Dan.
He just put his head down and knocked down several players, but number 50 there on a tackle, that would be Elijah Miller, the senior for St. Bernard.
Yeah. New Miami has a 1st and 10, new set of downs. They are across midfield as we're down to 4.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. The Titans have an 8-0 lead on the Vikings.
I like to see New Miami string together some first down here.
Well, they're going to hand it again to Spivey, and Spivey's running hard again for another 5 yards or so.
Same guy on the tackle as the last time. Okay, they blew the whistle. Are they going to give him the 4 progress? No, they're marking it back a little bit. Okay.
Eddie Clark makes the tackle there. I guess his knee must have hit before he surged for those extra 2 yards.
Or they said his forward progress was stopped when it really wasn't because he went another 2 yards.
He kept churning, didn't he?
He was keeping the knees working.
We like to make comparisons like Ty Stilsky of Kings last week with a kind of Barry Sanders McCaffrey thing. What do you think Dylan Spivey looks like to you?
I'll watch him a little more and come up with a name for you.
Man in motion. Robinette's going to keep it.
Nice play. There you can see the talent right there. Absolutely.
Donovan Howard was the man in motion. You had Spivey there. That might have even been a triple option, Dan. Very quickly went through all 3 options and kept it up the middle for Trey Robinette.
Well, Trey made the right choice, obviously.
They're now into Titan territory. They're about the 33-yard line now going in as the clock needs to run and is down to 3.5.
Yeah, we need to see if Trey also has a brother on the team, Jordan. We need to see if they're twins or not.
They are twins.
They are twins?
Okay. They're both seniors.
Okay.
So if they're brothers in the same year, I'm going to assume they're both twins. Yep. Hand off to Spivey. Up
Nice
the
run.
middle. Strong.
Boy, they're not twins.
They're
Thank
not
you.
twins.
Thank you.
Trey is younger by a year, but is also a senior.
There you go.
Okay, how about it?
Okay.
You learn something new every day in the village.
Well, it looks like Trey wins in the meals competition. He's got him. He's got him outweighed by 20 pounds. Jordan doesn't get the double quarter
The
pounder.
little
He
leg
gets the
theories in
single.
the slot. Number 7 there as the handoff is to Spivey.
Spivey, I'm going to say, is a Mike Allstott.
That's exactly the name I was thinking you might say.
There you go.
That's
Old
kinda what he
Tampa
looks
Bay. Back in the creamsicle uniforms.
I love the creamsicle uniforms.
That should be their alternate or their throwback.
But
But
again, with the single helmet rule,
Roger Goodell.
it
yeah.
really limits what you can do.
They're trying to consider having more than one helmet for the NFL. Not this year, but next year. So we'll see what happens with that.
Referees have a flag thrown in the slot there in the Deanza, Duncan, Jordan Robinette area, and it is a face mask against one of the Titan defenders.
Wow.
That was guarding one of them. And so that's going to be enough for a first down.
Absolutely. That's going to get them way down to right around the 20.
Well, you know, those L.A. Rams new helmets have the optical illusion with the horn where they look yellow and then they look white depending on how far away you are.
Yeah, they ruined a really good classic uniform there. The Rams did. That's just my opinion.
The rumor has it that as you go farther and farther away, as the handoff goes to Spivey up the middle, he's going to get a nice little chunk of about 9 yards there.
This is the drive that I was wanting New Miami to do earlier when they were back at the 50. This is just what they needed. Keeps St. Bernard off the field, keeps the clock going. We're down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2:09 in the first quarter.
And counting. Yes, the rumor has it with the Rams alternate uniforms that the helmet is going to have a 3-dimensional hologram of Eric Dickerson that will pop out of the side. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they figured it out in the new SoFi Stadium, right?
They can do everything in Los Angeles.
Hollywood production. 2nd and 2. It looks like it's only an 8-yard gain for Spivey after the spot. Robinette's going to keep it, but this play is going to be whistled dead before it gets going.
Goodness sake.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
It appeared to me that the left side of the line were kind of antsy. They kind of jumped forward a little bit before the play snap. Just don't know specifically which one did it.
Looks like Edgewood has taken a 7-0 lead up in Oxford over the Talawanda Brave. And at the end of the first, our sister broadcast with Chris and Joey Vogt, who are not actually our sisters. They're your nephews and my cousins. The Brookville Blue Devils are up 7-0 on the Monroe Hornets over at the Hornets' Nest.
And you told me before the game Brookville is a very talented squad.
They are Division 4. Spivey up the middle.
I'll tell you, they're finding a groove here with Spivey. I say keep it on the ground, keep feeding them the ball.
They're getting good chunks of yardage.
They're blowing it up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Brookville up there at Monroe, they are in Division 4 this year. They kind of fluctuate. I think they've been in Division 5 the last couple of years, but they would be in the same region as Corey Kiner's Roger Bacon Spartans, and those two teams might be on a collision course for a regional final.
I'd love to see a Roger Bacon game. It's not going to happen this year, but Kiner is pretty special from what I hear.
Oh, my goodness. That dude in LSU apparently has got his eyes on him.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how good of a player he is.
That's amazing.
Coach Orgeron.
We got 3rd and what, 2?
Third and 2.
3.
Gained back all the penalty yards in the last play. Man in motion is Howard. Robinette's going to keep it up the middle.
I think he's short.
Jaden Wood read that pretty easily. And again, Jaden Wood, What does he do? He kicks off. He breaks an 85-yard touchdown run, and he clogs up the defensive line against the quarterback draw.
That was Elijah Miller on the tackle for St. Bernard.
This is
4th
what
and
happens.
2. Let's see. Well,
Vikings are going to go for this.
yes, they are.
They're not going to
I
kick this
mean,
field goal.
no, they weren't kicking extra points in their first game after the first one. So.
Right. Extra points are definitely
Even though I do want to see the
dicey
straight, I want to
proposition.
see the straight-on kicker one time tonight.
you
we
may
go.
very well get your chance, but with an 8-0 lead, it's actually less likely.
Very less likely.
4th down and 2. Robinette in the shotgun formation. He's got 3 wideouts, a tight end, and Spivey next to him. And it
Okay.
looks like
Delay a game.
the whistle is blown and a timeout. New Miami, and what's particularly painful about this is that there are only 8 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Now, they did not have enough to be able to drain the quarter all the way down. There
No.
would have been a delay game called before those 8 seconds ran out, but you
Right.
hate to waste one there, Dan.
And there's no wind whatsoever, so they're not, wanting to maybe run out the quarter and try a field goal on the other end. I mean, the flag is pretty much dead there, so it's not a. It's definitely they're going for it.
So far, an 85-yard touchdown reception from Zakeem Hunley to Jaden Wood. That has been the difference in the game in terms of the scoreboard is concerned. I would say quality of play, New Miami has had the better of the play so far,
Yeah,
even though they're losing.
Yeah, it's been a great sustained drive.
So what do you call right now? You're Coach Andy Stucker. You're in the huddle. What do you say?
I do a run pass option, Trey Robinette, and I tell Robinette to keep the ball and run it.
A run pass option, but I am not giving you an option.
Right. Well, let them think it's an option, but let Trey Robinette run the ball.
You're going to have Jordan Robinette on the slot to the left side, and even farther away off of the frame is Deanza Duncan, 2 receivers in the very open side of the field. Handoff goes to Spivey up the middle.
There you go.
Yeah. First down and goal. Clock will pause at 3 seconds for the resetting of the chains. Then they're going to wind it, and that is going to end the first quarter from Merrifield. Well, we've reached the end of one.
Spivey, just so you know, Spivey's running off the field holding his left arm. He's in a lot of pain. I hope he's okay.
All right, we'll 10 to Spivey and 10 to the end of the first quarter. It's the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans, 8. New Miami Vikings scoreless but driving here from Merrifield on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
Inside the Village is powered by Red's Hamburger Shop, the official sponsor of the New Miami Vikings. Still serving the classic Red's burger. Red's is also serving soft serve ice cream and milkshakes. While carryout is still available, Red's is currently working on opening soon for limited indoor dining. Located at 103 South Riverside Drive in the heart of New Miami. Go Vikings! Inside the Village is also brought to you by Heirloom Framing for all your memorabilia and jersey framing needs. Twisted Scissors, a proud supporter of the Vikings. Go Green! Also, Reflections for Life Pioneers. All about your lawn, landscaping, and lawn service. Call 513-233-0159. And SuccessPhoto.com for all your high school photography needs.
Back here at Merrifield as both teams make the very long walk. Looks like we've got Spivey on the bench there.
He's actually being attended to. Oh, is he on the bench?
I can't see him now. He's not on the field, I can tell you that. Is he being attended to by the trainer?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, and so back in the backfield next to Robinette is going to be Donovan Howard, the former slot receiver that is now going to line up as a running back next door to Trey Robinette. Whistle blows. Referees have a uniform issue with Deanza Duncan. He's got to come off the field and get it taken care of as Emmerich Moffitt is going to come on in his place.
He didn't have a mouthpiece in. Is that what it looks like?
Might very well have been. So Moffitt's going to line up at the very, very far end of the formation. Trey Robinette's going to keep it going up the middle. And big old number 50, Elijah Miller there, Dan. We've called his name a few times.
Elijah is come to play tonight.
Eli's coming.
Three Dog Night reference.
Three Dog Night.
For you old school people.
Eli's coming. It's going to be 2nd and goal for the new Miami Vikings. Dan, I had mentioned to you earlier, the new Miami Vikings had their senior class this year is one of those special once in a generation, once in 2 generations type of guys. Kind of like the Dayton Flyers for basketball had, a once every 60 year that ended up canceling the NCAA tournament.
I love that team. And they didn't get to play in the tournament.
I know. Nathan Civerella now lining up as Howard goes over to the right side of the formation as the far receiver to the right. Robinette's going to roll left. Ball batted down by Jaden Wood, the wide receiver / defensive end / place kicker of the Titans.
He's laying the wood, I'll tell you that. I had to say that.
You had to say that. You would.
Wow. All right.
3rd and goal for the Vikings. And this also might be 4-down territory. The kicking game is not the strongest thing that New Miami brings to the table.
Not even a 27-yard field goal, huh?
I would think extra points themselves are dicey enough with this particular bunch.
Okay.
The first thing they did was they cut Lucy Van Pelt as the holder. That helps.
I would do that too.
Handoff to Nathan Civerella. He's looking for room, and it's Elijah Miller and Jaden Wood grabbing onto him. Very little gain there, and it's going to be a 4th down and a kind of dicey situation here for the Vikings.
Where's our man Dylan Spivey at? That's the question. They're missing him a little bit right here.
Yeah, Spivey is not on the field, and he is not being tended to by the trainer on the sidelines at this point in time, and he makes a difference. You could tell. You could absolutely tell.
Yeah, Mike Allstop back there. You got to keep using him, and unfortunately he's not out there for New Miami. Looks like we have a
timeout in New Miami. So we'll keep it here as they discuss what to do on 4th down. So, Dan, they had a bunch of sophomores and juniors last year, heavy juniors. And they went 10-0 in the regular season, ended up getting knocked out by New Bremen in the first round of the playoffs. I know New Miami fans hate me bringing that up. Keep bringing up that name, New Bremen.
Hey, let me ask you something, not being real familiar with New Miami.
Okay.
New coaching staff last year, or how long have they been?
Stucker, Andy Stucker is the head coach of New Miami.
Okay.
He is in his very first year ever as a head coach.
Okay.
Jesse Hubbard was the head coach of the Vikings last year. He went over to the Madison Mohawks.
Okay.
Took over that program that had been in the state semis a few years back. And Stucker actually was an assistant coach with Nate Mahan, who was at Little Miami, resurrected that program, and Stucker went with Mahan to Hamilton High School last year. Hamilton made the playoffs for the first time in a long time last year.
That was a great year for him.
Very good year for them. Mahan's got that thing rolling. They beat Fairfield last weekend for the first time since 12.
Wow.
And now Stucker is here in New Miami getting his first head coaching job, and this is a
4th and 10 here.
Situation.
Big play.
Low snap.
Looking for a slant.
Oh, he had a man open.
He's got him.
This one instead. It's Moffitt.
Beautiful.
No, Jordan Robinette, number 7, not number 1. That is Jordan Robinette, and Trey Robinette had a couple of guys there, Dan, that were both open.
Yeah, but he's going to throw to family every time, isn't he?
Family comes first, right, Dan?
That's his little brother. We thought they're both seniors, but we thought they might be twins, but we were corrected earlier.
Big brother.
Big brother.
He's the older one, yes. Trey's the younger one. He's just the one that's eating a little bit more. The little big brother.
The little
That's
big
right.
brother.
The lankier big brother.
I know about little big brothers. I have 3 sons, and my 3rd youngest son is the biggest of the 3.
Here's the toe ball kick approach that you wanted to see earlier for Trey Robinette.
Here we go.
Oh, they're going to
look at that.
It's a fake.
And it works.
And they're throwing it toward the end zone. And that is caught by Jerry Hilton.
Wow.
And we are tied, not at 7, but at 8.
Okay, well, the Minnesota Vikings had a straight-on kicker named Fred Cox. I don't ever think Fred Cox threw for, well, they didn't have 2-point conversions back then. He wouldn't have thrown for the 1. It would have been a 1-point play. So that was nice seeing the straight-on kicker throw his pass.
Well, we'll be right back here from Merrifield after this message.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
And we're back here from the Village. Scoreboard update, out-of-town scoreboard in Oxford. The Edgewood Cougars are up 14-0 on the Talawanda Brave. This season is not going as well as Larry Cox thought after 2 weeks.
Yeah. Boy, when I saw them, they were a beast, though.
Kick goes deep to Jaden Wood. Picks up the ball, runs it down the right sideline, weaving his way out of traffic.
Boy, he's running hard.
He hasn't stopped yet. Finally, they broke him to the ground. His legs still might be moving while he's on the ground there, Dan. So, yes, the new Miami Vikings lost almost nobody to graduation. Very few seniors. So everybody gets a year older on the team that already went 10-0. You get people like Emmerich Moffitt, a sophomore, to throw into the mix, and it gives you even a few more options. And this is a year, obviously, of great expectation for New Miami. This was the year. And then, of course, COVID came, and it's really made this year challenging to have it.
Yeah, only one game so far. That's hard.
Looks like Trey Robinette actually ran off the field here for a couple of plays just to get a quick breather. I mean, you got to try to steal a couple plays off when you can, right?
Yeah, when you go both ways.
Under center, Hundley rolling out. Not a lot of room. Chucks it up high and out of bounds. Couple receivers in the area. Looks like Isaac Drew was one of those such receivers. And the other one looks like it was Jaden Wood. Overthrown to both of them. 2nd down and 10 for the Titans.
On the 2-point conversion earlier, when the kicker threw the ball, is he a backup quarterback? Because he really threw it well.
That was Trey Robinette.
Oh.
It was the kicker. They snapped it directly to the kicker.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so he was blind up there as if he was going to kick the extra point.
That's
Hundley short hops his receiver, Isaac Drew.
Well, that's obviously when you want to use deception, when you have that ability.
No doubt, when your quarterback is your kicker, that helps. That definitely helps. Looks like the Monroe Hornets have gotten to the second quarter, only down 7-3 over there. Chris and Joey have got a little bit of a battle going as the Hornets have proven to be a little stickier than most people thought they'd be this year. End of the first quarter, Fairfield leads Lakota West 7-0. That's a bit of a stunner.
3rd and 10 here. Let's see what happens.
Option play. Hundley tucks it and runs. He's still got his guy deep, doesn't pitch it.
I'm glad he tucked it in at the end there.
He did.
The proverbial loaf of bread.
Jaylon Parker was his scat back there that was there looking for the pitch. Had a couple different opportunities he could have gotten to him. And by the time the contact happened, I think you're right, Dan, just tucked that ball in. 4th and 5, punting situation for the Titans with the tie game here in the second quarter.
I was had a little cringe going on the way he was holding that ball there. I didn't want to see a turnover there for St. Bernard.
Yeah, it was had all the recipe of that, didn't it? All the ingredients you would need.
All right.
Isaac Drew, the punter.
Deanza Duncan.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. He's back deep.
He's respecting the punter again. He's really not kicked it substantially. He's way back there.
Drew.
He got a good kickoff
kick.
there. Yeah, he did.
Duncan going to field it in the air. And
nice coverage.
Tackled by Jaylon Parker. Not going to go very far there as the Vikings procure possession here with 9 minutes and 1 second remaining in the second quarter of play. 8-8, Dan. Good game.
It's a very good game. That's all we can ask for.
Trey Robinette had that last defensive possession off, so he is now into the game. You see Jarek Holland also running in there late as an offensive lineman for the Vikings. 1st down and 10. New Miami at their own 23-yard line.
Wanting to see if Dylan Spivey is out there.
It looks like he is.
Okay. That's great.
Bottom of your screen, you'll see Donovan Howard and Deanza Duncan there. Snap. Spivey up the middle.
There you go.
He's such a key part of their offense, Dan.
He's got good vision, and he's not taped up or anything, so I don't know what exactly happened to him, but it's good to see he's back out there.
Absolutely. That Vikings offense, much more challenging to do something. There's something you normally don't see. You can see it on television there. The St. Bernard Elmwood Place defender having the ball and having to throw it into the huddle of the New Miami offense.
It's like backyard football, isn't it?
It really kind of is. You know, the referees are just throwing beanbags on the field.
It's fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. No receivers at the bottom of the screen here. Handoff again to Spivey.
Look at
Doesn't
him
have a
running
lot of
hard.
room, but he's still struggling to get something. And a cloud of dirt, Dan. We got a cloud of dust.
That was 3 yards and a cloud of dust. I love it.
We've not seen a lot of dust this year. We've seen mostly rubber pellets.
Yeah.
3rd down and 3.
3rd and 3.
For the Vikings as Trey Robinette comes back in from getting his play from Coach Stucker.
Last time they had a 3rd and 3, I was wanting to do the run-pass option, only running the ball, of course, but I think they're going to go with Spivey again. We'll see what happens.
You had 12 men in the huddle there.
Oh.
And a timeout, the last timeout taken of the half for New Miami.
Good job there, Joel, spotting the 12 men on the huddle. I think the timeout was to prevent a penalty.
That's exactly right. So
Yes.
we're going to take the timeout with them. We'll be right back here from Merrifield, 8-8, New Miami and St. Bernard Elmwood Place.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Whistle blows. We're back here for 3rd and 3 as New Miami takes their 3rd and final timeout of the half to save from the 12 men in the huddle penalty.
Look at this.
And in motion. Scrambling. Robinette throws it forward. And the referee should call this an incomplete pass,
He
and
does.
they do. The refereeing crew in the Purcell-Marion game missed a similar call to that and called it a fumble. That is a forward flip from Trey Robinette, and that is correctly
He
whistled.
could throw it underarm, and it still would be a forward pass.
It's a forward pass. And so the Vikings are going to punt the football. The plot thickens.
St. Bernard Elwood Place. Elmwood. Give me the full name, Joel.
St. Bernard Elmwood Place.
Okay. Reason they're called that, we talked with the coaches before the game, and it was because they wanted Elmwood Place to have their name in the team name because, to quote, they pay the taxes.
Jaden Wood going to return a long punt return. He's got some room. Slips down. Flag behind the play. This is not going to stand. What would have been a spectacular field position for St. Bernard Elmwood Place is going to end up decent field position for St. Bernard Elmwood Place.
Jaden Wood showing his athletic ability, running hard. But let's see, the spot of the flag is at right around the 32, and you back them up 10 on that. So they're going to go take it all the way back to the 42. We got a player hurt, and it is.
Is that Woods?
That is
Wood.
That is Wood.
Jaden
yes.
Wood. Yeah.
Someone laid the wood on Jaden there, looks like.
St. Bernard Elmwood Place, Dan.
Okay. Thank you.
They would, you always known them as St. Bernard.
St. Bernard is what everyone knows them as.
But we were talking with one of the coaches before the game.
Right.
And he had mentioned about people in the Elmwood Village.
Right.
Had also been paying taxes to the school district. Right. And so with the taxes always being paid to the school district there, they wanted to get their own name included. This is a long time ago.
Right.
And so they've been SBEP for a long time.
That just doesn't roll off the lips very well to me, SBEP, but St. Bernard does.
All right, Jaden Woods, the injured St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titan. Dan, breaking news, completely unrelated to football. Our country is in for a real punch in the gut here, leading up to the election in 2 months. Breaking news that just came down the last 15 minutes. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has just passed away at the age of 87 years old. And so you know that everybody, both on the Trump side and the Biden side, is going to be mobilizing over the Supreme Court seat with, what, 2 months, less than 2 months left to go in Trump's first term. Well, I guess 4 months if you include the little dead period between November's election and January.
Well, I was under the impression that she was going to retire anyway, so, God rest her soul.
God rest her soul. She probably would have retired after Biden would have won the election, if that is indeed what would have happened. Being the liberal justice, certainly she would have liked to have been replaced by a President Biden rather than a President Trump. And now with all the shenanigans with Merrick Garland at the end of the Obama last year.
Yeah.
That's all going to come back up in the news cycle again. This is going to be a really interesting story.
And
to keep an
if
eye on.
politics wasn't more complicated.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to be very ugly on both sides, leading down to the drag-out, slap-down fight on November 3rd here coming up. All right, so penalty is enforced, and it looks like I think they also had a personal foul on New Miami as well. So they're going to enforce both penalties.
Oh, my.
It's going to be basically similar to where that first penalty happened. First down and 10 for the Titans at the New Miami 29-yard line.
Is that basically a do-over or something?
Well, it's not a do-over because the punt return.
That's right. That's right.
It stands. It does stand. We're at 7:17 left to go in the second quarter here. Zakeem Hunley's got very good field position for the Titans. He's going to scramble to the
It's just gonna
outside.
be a straight run.
And
Another
a flag. He was using his running back, Jalon Parker, as a lead blocker. Jalon was fine, but the offensive line was not.
Yeah. I'll tell you, St. Bernard, excellent field position, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot, going backwards here.
Holding penalty on the Titans. So that's going to be a 10-yard loss. But they'll get to keep the down. First down and 20 now for the Titans. Go ahead.
And he got 9 yards on the run, so it's, gosh, 19-yard penalty altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not what you want there if you're the Titans. New Miami's not going to mind that one bit.
No.
I'm guessing with St. Bernard not even attempting to kick an extra point when they scored first, the kicking game is not going to be fantastic for either one of these teams. Man in motion.
Big
Lenny
bruiser.
Thornton, the defensive
Wow.
tackle / running back.
He is thick.
Lenny. It's Leni, and it's short for something. The longer name is not here on our roster.
Right.
The coach thought it was maybe Lenarius or something of that nature.
I think he said Lenarius. You're correct. Good memory.
Oh, my goodness.
Just to set the scene here, second down and 20. We got 6 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the second quarter, an 8-8 ball game. It's been a really even game.
Yeah, both teams really fighting hard.
Oh!
Almost intercepted. That was Jose Chavarria. Says,
Come on.
Arriba on defense.
Jose, you didn't see that.
Oh, my goodness. Jose can see the football, but.
Catching it's a different story.
Exactly. Couldn't quite come up with it. Stretched out his one paw. Couldn't get the second one on it.
Oh, Paul, you're doing a John Madden there.
It's kind of like
He's not a lion.
what was that, a Keith Jackson, right? Just took his big paw up in the air.
Yeah, that's a Keith Jackson.
Third down and 17 here at the granddaddy of them all at Barrowfield.
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, Lenny in the backfield next to Zakeem
Third and
Hunley.
18. Just
Oh,
throw it.
blitz
Oh,
coming.
Look at that.
Dumps it off to Wood.
Nice. Listen to the crowd. They're roaring here.
Caught it and lost yardage, and that would be Donovan Howard on the tackle for the Vikings.
I'll
Fourth
tell
down.
you, the blitz up the middle. Great call by the defense there. Great call. That was the coordinator we were talking to. That was New Miami's coordinator. No, that was.
We were talking to St. Bernard's.
That's
exactly.
correct. Nice guy.
Exactly. So here we go. Fourth down and long, and this is, believe it or not, after you start the drive on the other team's 29-yard line, they're in punting range here. And this is the right call.
It is. I definitely kick it out of bounds here. Let's see if they do some old school coffin corner.
Duncan is deep.
He's kicking it straight
Isaac
down
Drew.
the middle.
Rugby's it. It's going to roll inside the 5 and into the end zone as the Titans. Jalon Parker just simply washes it. I think he lost track of what yard line.
Come on,
was
Titans. You got to down that ball.
He didn't remember to down it, Dan. 5:21 remaining.
I mean, beautiful kick by the kicker, that end-over-end roll. Now, if you go out of bounds, you don't have to worry about your player downing it, do you?
It was right there. Deanza was not going to touch that football.
That's a huge 20-yard mistake.
Oh, my goodness.
Talking about a 99-yard drive, they would have been there for him.
You would have the opportunity for a safety the way these two defensive lines have played.
That's right.
So Spivey in the backfield next to Trey Robinette. Deanza Duncan's on the bottom of your screen. Jordan Robinette goes in motion, and the handoff is to Jordan Robinette on the jet sweep coming from left to right around the end.
Nice play.
About a 15-yard gain there for Jordan. And it's going to be a first down for New
And
Miami.
that's Elijah Miller again on the tackle. He's having a heck of a game. He's my defensive player of the game so far.
There you
Elijah Miller.
Coleraine Cardinals up on Middletown 21-0.
The beat goes on. Beat goes on for Coleraine.
It does. And
well, with the exception of losing finally.
Well, Princeton got him last weekend.
Oh, did they really?
They've lost twice now, Coleraine has.
Oh, my goodness.
Lakota West got him and Princeton got him.
They can
twice
blame.
in
They'll
1 year.
blame it on the virus, I guess.
That's it.
It's got to be the virus.
Down below, 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Spivey's looking for where to line up. Now he lines up next to Robinette in the backfield. Robinette's got 2 receivers on each side, and Howard in motion.
Straight run.
Trey Robinette up the middle. Right into the waiting arms
Of Elijah Miller.
Elijah Miller, as well as number 59, who we don't have on our roster.
Let me see if they added him. No, that's Mystery Man.
Mystery Man.
It wasn't 49, it was 59.
It's 59, right? Yes, sir.
Okay.
49's coming out for right now.
You're right. We don't
That's
have a
A.J.
59.
Sanders. We don't have a 59. So whoever 59 is, we're sorry. We cannot give you credit for assisting Elijah Miller on that tackle. Second down and 8 for the Vikings. As Tug Jones brings the ball up to the line of scrimmage as the center. No receivers to the bottom of the formation. They got a tight end and an H-back on the side.
Spivey run.
And Spivey doesn't get much.
No, he doesn't.
I love his effort. Love his effort.
He's hard to bring down. That was Greg Miller on a tackle.
Isaac Drew hit him first and knocked him backward, but did not knock him down. And you were correct. Greg Miller is the one that finally wrapped him up there, number 7 there.
Sophomore. Pretty good size for a sophomore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Third down, 7 yards to go. Own 38-yard line. We're down below 3.5 left here in the second quarter in the Village.
This is a big play for both teams. I mean, we're down into 3, like you said. St. Bernard has a chance to get the ball back on a punt. Either team here, they want to get a score before the half.
Screws tightening on this one a little bit. No one wants to make a big mistake.
I like the 4 wide spread here.
Howard goes in motion. They're looking for Howard. Now he's going to look longer. Robinette doesn't have
Pursuit
it. Pocket
got him.
collapses. Isaac Drew makes the hit in the backfield, and that will snuff out that drive for the Vikings.
They were trying to throw it deep there, as you could see, but the pursuit and the pressure was just too much. Good play there. St. Bernard is going to get the ball. Looks like they stopped the clock, too. That was smart.
Timeout taken by St. Bernard. They got 2 left. We'll take the timeout with them here on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network. 8-8, Titans and Vikings.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Dan, you like that timeout for the Titans there, right?
It's terrific. Just good clock management. And look who's back.
We got number 2, Zakeem Hundley, back deep to return.
And you got Mr. Wood back there also.
Yeah, 2 guys back deep.
The 2 studs.
2:47 remaining in the second quarter. Big booming kick to Wood.
Oh.
Muffs it, picks it up at his own 47-yard line.
Look at that. Look at that.
Across midfield.
Look
He's
at
got
that.
some room. That guy has been slippery and a thorn in the side of the Vikings all night long.
He's just a great athlete.
Whew.
He is slippery.
New Miami's having trouble knowing what to do with him. If you could get him shut down, you'd feel pretty good about your chances here, but that's kind of the wild card that's out there in the field. You can get the ball to him, and anything can happen.
Yeah, he got that, 75-yard slant?
85, yeah.
85.
85
Wow.
yard from their own 15-yard line. Worst field position St. Bernard Elmwood Place had all night long, and they scored an 85-yard touchdown catch in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was my Tony Romo call.
That was your
wasn't
Tony Romo call. You had it ahead of time. It was like in the second quarter, the Baden Rams lead Fenwick 22-0.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure Baden and Bellbrook in either order are going to be the 1 and the 2 seeds in Division III, Region 12 once the coaches vote on it. 2 very quality teams there.
It's a shame. Here's that slant. It's a hitch and go, but
Huntley
wow.
overthrows them.
Okay, that's. I'll tell you, that's good defense there by Deanza Duncan. He tried a hitch and go, and Deanza literally kind of ran into him. And, you could call that illegal contact if you want to, but it impeded him, and the ball was overthrown.
Just a little bit of an impediment. And the other thing that Deanza did there, Dan, that I noticed is he also kind of pinned him against the sideline. Jaden Wood did not have a lot of outside room to be able to cut that hitch and go back upfield.
I agree.
2nd and 10, pistol formation. Jaylon Parker behind Hundley in the backfield. Trips receivers to the left. They throw it right to Wood. Just a very quick read. Almost works like a running play.
It's going to set up a – all right, they're finally blowing it.
He kept going for a bit there, Dan.
Yeah, third and 2. I say you run the ball here, even though we're down to 2:09. They have 2 timeouts left. They should be getting up to the line a little quicker.
Now they've got the 30-yard line here, so they got 2 minutes. They got 2 timeouts. New Miami cannot stop the clock. They've wasted all 3 of theirs for the first half. I don't know about wasted. They've utilized them. I think they've utilized them well.
Yeah.
They've
well, one
things.
prevented a 5-yard penalty.
Exactly. A couple different things like that. 2 of them, the one was 8 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Okay, just a quarterback run. He got it, and he's going to get out of bounds if he's smart, and he does.
Hundley, how about it?
It's good play. Good play.
Few nervous moments when you see a guy getting hit out of bounds there. There's not a lot of out-of-bounds room on this field, and you got those metal bleachers on that far sideline, as you can see there.
Yeah, Hundley the old metal fences, too.
Yeah, Hundley gets hit. He kind of fell almost underneath that set of bleachers there. 1st and 10 for the Titans.
They're running the clock, even though he went out of bounds.
That's
I don't understand. Okay.
First
Maybe
down.
They thought his forward progress was stopped in bounds. Yeah.
That would make sense. Under center. Hundley's going to toss it the opposite way.
Good speed.
That's Parker.
Ooh.
And Parker is met.
He ran up the back of his fellow player, and I think he's hurt. He's 30.
It's 39 there.
Okay.
That would be Aiden Allen, his lead blocker there on the outside as a wide receiver, and that was Donovan Howard mucking things up on the defensive end for the Vikings. The clock continues to run. No, it's going to be stopped.
Because of the first. No, I don't.
Because of a timeout.
Okay, very
taken
good.
by St. Bernard Elmwood Place.
They got 1 left, Joel.
Yep, we'll keep it right here with 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go. Now, here's the interesting thing in an 8-8 ball game. There is no such thing as field goal range for the Titans. If you're not going to try an extra point on your first touchdown when it's 6-0, then you don't have a kicking game, would be my assessment of that. I could be totally wrong, but that would be my assumption.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a kicking game at all, you got 1 minute 9 and only 1 timeout, 2nd down at the 18-yard line. You can't monkey around too much.
They need to get 3 yards, okay, then they could get the first down. The clock would stop, and then they could, quickly. I would call 2 plays if I was the coach there. We'll see if they do that and have a little hurry-up action.
Got to come up with something. Our lights are trying to come on here in the press box.
That's okay.
All right. 1 minute 9 left as the Titans come back onto the field. You have the backfield of Hundley and Parker in the pistol. 2 bunch receivers on the left side of the offensive line.
They're going to throw left.
They're going to scramble toward the right. Tug Jones has a chance to get an angle on him.
Boy, he's got the speed.
Oh, he's going to outrun Tug. He's looking for the pylon. He's going to get himself out of bounds.
And they did stop the clock.
58 seconds remain. That was a wonderful little run by Zakeem Hundley, and Tug Jones was the only New Miami Viking that had a shot at him, but Hundley is just fast, dude.
I know. Well, Tug eventually caught up with him. He had the angle.
Run did go out of bounds, so the clock is stopped and remains stationary at 58 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Titans. They're at the 7-yard line, looking to go in and try to score here right before the half. I believe the Vikings are going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Is that correct?
Yeah, they deferred. You're correct. Now they're in a running formation. Nope.
Let's see here. Looking back at the end zone, there's nobody there. Well, he did have a receiver there. Jaden Wood, who had 2 Vikings almost hanging all over him. Legally, mind you.
When you overthrow Jaden Wood, you're throwing it high.
That's so true.
All right.
I'm thinking back. I think St. Bernard Elmwood Place may be getting this ball to start the 3rd quarter. I'm trying to think. The opening kickoff went from left to right. That'd be New Miami Vikings had it.
Well, remember we had this deferral discussion?
Yeah,
I think,
we did.
Okay.
But we ended up talking about messing it up. I think St. Bernard Ellen Place is getting the ball to start the third quarter, so that makes this drive even more important for New Miami to keep them out of the end zone.
Especially if they can't kick a field goal.
That's right. I mean, you got 3 more plays to defend here defensively, and one of them will not be a special teams play. Hundley, quarterback sweep. Flag, it's coming back. Robinette, or not Robinette, that would be number 4, Jerry Hilton, that knocks him out of bounds. But this is going to be brought back, Dan.
They're smartly running sweeps, so that way if they do get stopped, they're going to be out of bounds. We got holding.
Yeah. They're trying to get out of bounds. The other thing that's smart about the sweeps, I think, is that New Miami may be a little stockier.
Yeah.
But I think that St. Bernard Elmwood Place has a bit of a speed advantage between Hundley and Wood, number 2 and number 3. Those are the 2 guys.
The
their
Division
defensive
I.
coordinator were talking about, possible college opportunities there
Absolutely.
for St. Bernard. So now all of a sudden, clock remains stopped at 43 seconds left to go. It is 2nd and goal, but the ball is brought all the way out to the 20-yard line. This
It's just the way they planned it. They're going to give themselves plenty of room in the end zone.
to try to throw over the top?
Yeah, they're going to throw it deep.
We got, again, 3 plays to defend from 20 yards out. Hundley's going to roll a little bit left. He's looking.
A little high.
And he overthrows his receiver. That was Lenny Thornton, the defensive tackle / tight end.
I love that.
Isaac Drew might have actually been the intended receiver for that. I think Lenny got his hand up in the air like he wanted to catch that ball. It may have been intended for 32 rather than 30.
He tried to bat the ball down like a good defensive lineman should.
And you're playing offense.
Well, he's probably loves his defense a little more.
All right.
He's built more like a defensive player.
3rd down and goal from the 20-yard line. You basically have 2 shots at the end zone here. With New Miami out of timeouts, you can get tackled anywhere in between here and the goal line and run the clock all the way down, take your last timeout with a 2nd left.
Alley-oop.
End zone to Wood.
Wow.
That had some promise to it. And it looks like that was Deanza Duncan, I think.
Deanza Duncan was very fortunate there. I felt he ran up his back a little early.
He jumped early on that. That ball had more hang time than he thought, and that might have dropped right over his hand. He was fortunate.
Well, I thought he had some contact on the receiver there, too. I thought there should have been at least a illegal contact penalty, maybe not pass interference.
Well, those things are not automatic first downs in high school.
No, they're not.
So it would have
Here
been
we go.
half the distance. But
4th down.
goal.
We have no kicker out on the field, obviously.
Yeah, not from the 20-yard line. You're not going to have one out here.
The bowling ball is in motion.
Rolling down the alley. Hundley, look at end zone. And knock it down.
Nice defense. Just bat it down.
Brandon Civerella, and he had absolutely no intent to intercept that football, Dan. That was a straight knockdown for Brandon.
It's just a smart play. If he picks it off, he's got to run it all the way. He know the change of possession was coming.
Oh man.
All right, what do you do now if you're New Miami?
Oh, I tell you what I do.
Take a knee.
Absolutely. You go in at halftime 8-8, and you be very thankful that you've not given up anything more.
Okay.
You know that your offense has done pretty well staying on the field.
Remember last week, though, we were talking about the Baden Rams, and they had a play with 8 seconds to go in the half,
Yep.
and they scored, but they had a penalty. So looks like they're in the kneel-down formation.
Yes. They call this victory formation, but they are actually tied.
That's why I said kneel down.
Hey, flag. They didn't execute it properly. That's because they're only 1-0, Dan. They've not played enough games to win them yet. That's what happens when you lose your first game due to COVID and you lose your last week's game due to Miami Valley not having enough players. You don't get to practice your victory formation. You're looking at other scores?
Yeah, I'm seeing how Monroe Hornets are doing. It's halftime. Brookville, thank you.
Yes.
14-3.
The Blue Devils. Monroe's playing them tough.
Yes, they are.
Fairfield's still up 7-0 on Lakota West of the half. That's a surprising score.
Yes, it is.
Lakota East up 14-7.
Now
over
they do the
Princeton.
proper kneel down.
After the 5-yard penalty. And so we will go in at halftime. Very stubborn game. St. Bernard, Elmwood Place, and New Miami tied 8-8 from Merrifield on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
Inside the Village is powered by Red's Hamburger Shop, the official sponsor of the New Miami Vikings. Still serving the classic Red's burger. Red's is also serving soft serve ice cream and milkshakes. While carryout is still available, Reds is currently working on opening soon for limited indoor dining. Located at 103 South Riverside Drive in the heart of New Miami. Go Vikings! Inside the Village is also brought to you by Heirloom Framing for all your memorabilia and jersey framing needs. Twisted Scissors, a proud supporter of the Vikings. Go Green! Also, Reflections for Life Pioneers. All about your lawn, landscaping, and lawn service. Call 513-233-0159. And SuccessPhoto.com for all your high school photography needs.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
All right, we're back here at Merrifield on senior night. It's always senior night, Dan. Joel
Yes,
Sackenheim and Dr. Dan Vogt. Pleased to have you with us here. And 8-8 ball game here. This is a good game, Dan.
It's a very good game. We thought it'd be an explosive shootout the way St. Bernard got on the board early with the 85-yard touchdown pass, but the defenses are, they're coming to play. They're being stout, and they're doing what they need to do.
And it's one of these things, you almost look at as this game goes later and later. As we go into the third quarter and deeper into the fourth, the lower score the game goes, you're going to be looking at who gives up the big mistake, maybe even more than who makes the big offensive play.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give the edge to New Miami overall by the time we see, the end of this game, just because I think they can string first downs together. They have a little bit more of a dominant running game with Dylan Spivey, now that we know he's not hurt and he's still running well.
Spivey was running really, really well on that drive that New Miami scored.
And
got himself hurt, though, at the end of that drive. He's come back in. I don't know if he's quite been as good after the injury. It's an arm injury, so it shouldn't be affecting his legs at all, but maybe it just may be a simple defensive strategy change on the part of the Titans to not let big old number 42 rumble down their necks.
That's right.
Other scores. Halftime in Talawanda, the Edgewood Cougars. Can you figure them out?
No.
Talawanda beats Carroll, looks impressive. Beats Harrison, looks really impressive. Loses 35-0 to Ross, and now they're back home, losing to an Edgewood team that could be 0-3 if it weren't for a 21-0 comeback.
Which we got to see.
Which we got to see against Mount Healthy, who was 0-3. It's a interesting, I don't know what to make of that score and what's going on there, but I guess good for Edgewood, and Larry Cox is going to have a heart-to-heart with his gentleman at halftime there.
It's just A is to B is B is to C is A is to C. You don't know.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
It is.
Monroe Hornets, they're hanging in there with Brookville. Brookville is a tough opponent. They entered tonight in the Harbin points. The Harbin points are not going to be used for playoff seeding this year, but Joe Idle is still keeping them on his website.
I think they'll be indirectly used.
Indirectly.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope you're right. I hope most coaches will look at that and at least use that as a tool, maybe not the only tool, but a tool.
I think that the head coaches owe it to themselves and the respect for high school football to make informed decisions when they vote these playoff seedings. Now, Joel, this is your forte.
Yes, sir.
What week are they going to be doing this?
Okay, we're going to play 5 weeks of football. So after next week's games are going to be when the voting will take place for the coaches. The week 6 games will not factor in at all.
Interesting.
New Miami will only have 3 games under their belt at that point in time to be able to evaluate that on.
Okay.
The Harbin ratings are more and more exact, and I guess a better data point the more games you have played.
Right.
So if the teams that have played 5 games and using the Harbin ratings, that's going to be a pretty good indicator of where they are. The teams that have only played 3, or like in Trotwood Madison's case, 2, that's not going to tell you much.
So you think maybe a joeidle.com would be a nice alternative way of, judging these teams?
Well, at least evaluating teams across conferences and across regions.
Okay.
I mean, New Miami, for example. You can look at how they're doing against St. Bernard. This will tell you something. Obviously, how they did against Purcell Marion was going to tell you something. And when you're comparing them against the other Miami Valley Conference teams like CCPA and Lockland that are in their region, Miami Valley Christian Academy, if they end up playing in the playoffs, if you compare those, you'll be able to tell that New Miami is the strongest of those teams. And you'll be able to say, okay, New Miami should be ahead of those other 3. But how do you compare New Miami to, well, the Midwest Athletic Conference? You got St. Henry in there. You got Marion Local in there. You got New Bremen in there. Do you use last year's game where New Miami played New Bremen? You're not supposed to. But how do you get that out of your head?
Maybe the local coaches will vote for their local teams.
I mean, it's kind of difficult to say,
There might be some homerism going on.
There could be.
Yeah.
You're going to have Fort Loramie in there, and that's the team that knocked New Miami out of the playoffs 2 years ago when New Miami snuck in the last day as the 8th seed. They went up there to Fort Loramie and got pummeled by them. Fort Loramie is a very, very good football program. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly how you're going to seed and rank these teams. Division 4, as we mentioned, with Brookville, they and Roger Bacon are going to be fighting neck and neck for, I guess, political coaches voting, to see. Those two don't play a schedule against each other much. Roger Bacon is in the Miami Valley Conference Scarlet Division, the opposite division from New Miami and St. Bernard Elmwood Place. But they're going to have a string of wins under their belt. Corey Kiner looks all-world. I don't know if the old GCL pedigree will come into play there or not.
It's great that an old GCL team, I know Roger Bacon isn't GCL anymore, but just to have a guy that's going to go to LSU, that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. The only thing I can compare that to is back in the mid-2000s. You're nodding. You know where I'm going to go with this already.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Javon
Yes.
Ringer,
Javon
who was
Ringer.
a Chaminade Julienne Eagle. And I got to stat, it was back in 2005, I got to stat him against the Baden Rams.
Oh, yes.
And I
was at that game, and I said to my young sons at the time, I said, watch this Ringer. And I think the first 3 times he touched the ball, he scored a touchdown against
He was
Baden.
absolutely incredible. And this was back in the day before we had the stats being sent onto the internet and being printed out in the press boxes like a lot of these places do. So I had to take the stats home on Friday night and with the Baden laptop.
Yeah.
I had to edit that all and get it all ready to go. And I went into school on Monday morning with the final stats and final box score, went to the library, printed it off, went over to Coach Worth's room, and he looked at me before I even handed him the paper, and he said, "How many yards did Ringer rush for?" And I looked at the paper, and the paper said, "Coach, he ran for 285 yards." I have never seen Coach Worth, he's a big dude, jump that high off the ground. He was so excited. He told me we wanted to keep him under 300.
Wow.
CJ scored like 42 points in that game and absolutely pummeled the Baden Rams that night.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's probably the best guy I've seen live.
Third quarter, it looks like Lakota East has a 20-13 lead over the Princeton Vikings. Princeton just knocked off Coleraine last week, and now Lakota East, who is, I believe, winless on the season. They lost to LaSalle last week. They scheduled up in a non-conference game. Lakota East is bringing it to Princeton, and triple option. Rick Haynes is running that thing well. Madison Mohawks have a 22-14 lead in the third quarter over the Carlisle Indians.
On their grass field.
On their grass field, absolutely, absolutely. Baden up 22-0 at halftime over the Fenwick Falcons.
I'll tell you, Baden, they're putting it all together. They're not only scoring a lot, but their defense has been outstanding this year.
The team I am curious about in the GCL co-ed is McNicholas.
Yes, because they're 3-0 right now.
3-0. They're playing Chaminade Julian tonight. We're going to learn a little bit about them tonight. They think they're good.
Okay.
Last year they were 3-7. The year before they were 1-9. So McNicholas was uncharacteristically poor the last 2 years. I believe they had an injured quarterback for part of that time. That doesn't help, of course. And my stepdad is from the east side of Cincinnati. He went to a fantasy football draft and was talking with, I guess, one of McNicholas's defensive coaches there who they think they're good.
Okay.
He was very happy to talk about how good he thought McNicholas was.
Now they're
that year.
3-0. Have they played the big boys yet?
Their last 2 games are against Alter and against Baden.
There's the big boys.
There's the big boys. That's right. That's right. So McNicholas, if they beat CJ tonight, which is entirely possible, given how Baden dispatched them pretty easily last week, if McNicholas can win tonight, they'll be 4-0. We're really not going to know how good they are until they face Alter in Week 5 and Baden in Week 6. And we're either going to find out that McNicholas really is as good as they say that they are, and it's a 3-team race, or we're going to find out that it's a 2-team race and McNicholas is a very nice 3rd place.
So, but let's say they lose to Alter there in Week 5, then the votes are in, right?
The votes are in, so the Baden game won't even factor into the vote.
It won't.
McNicholas is in Division 4.
Right.
So they'll be with Brookville and with Roger Bacon for the playoffs, not with Baden and Alter, not with St. Bernard in Division 6 or New Miami in Division 7.
Okay, but Baden will probably be undefeated going after Week 5, the way things are shaking out.
Yeah, the way they're playing Fenwick, they're up 22-0 tonight, and all they would need to be undefeated to go into the vote would be a win over Carroll at Kumler Field. We've seen Carroll. They lost 26-6 up at Talawanda, and they beat Chaminade Julian in Week 2 on the last play of the game. So Baden, if they don't overlook them and just show up, they should be perfectly fine against the Carroll Patriots, I would think. That'd have them at 5-0 into the vote, and then the question, of course, becomes Baden or Bellbrook, which flavor of ice cream do you like better for the 1 seed?
And as long as you're the 1 or the 2 and you win like you're supposed to, you'll get to play each other. So as long as they get the 1 or the 2, that's what they got to shoot for.
The other thing to keep an eye on are the brackets themselves and the number of teams that have opted in. If you go to joeidle.com, up before today, he had
people. That's JOEEITEL.com.
That's right. If you go to joeidle.com,
he is a great source.
Oh my gosh, he has every region laid out with the Harbin points, and you can click on each team and see the schedule and the scores of who all they've played and beat. It's a wonderful source that we go to all the time as we're broadcasting games, just to have it pulled up on a side laptop and be able to check it out.
And if you want to kill time and just go back to down memory lane,
he's got it back to 2000.
Back to 2000. I mean. You know, some of you old guys, gosh, that's when I played. And look what we did that year. It's kind of good to see that.
You can go back and look at all of that, absolutely. But he's got them by region because before tonight, the regions had not been announced. So you had the divisions.
Right.
New Miami was Division 7. St. Bernard Elmwood placed Division 6 and so forth. But they were lumped in with every team of that similar school size throughout the entire state. They have now been broken into 4 equal pieces. And so you can see exactly who you're going to be having to line up against in a bracket form. One thing that most people are not looking at, but you should, is if the number of total teams are going to depend, that's going to determine how many buys are given. So right now in Division 7 for New Miami, there are 22 teams that have declared that they are in for the playoffs.
Okay.
That means 10 schools are going to get a first-round bye, and I'm assuming will not be playing in Week 7, but will begin their playoffs after a bye week in Week 8. I would think that New Miami, if they can beat St. Bernard tonight, and that is definitely not a given right now with a halftime score of 8-8, but if they can beat St. Bernard tonight and win their next game, it looks like New Miami, their Week 5 game is against Cincinnati Country Day, another Division 6 school that is 1-3 right now. If they can run that table, they can be 3-0 going into the vote. No, I don't think New Miami is going to be voted a 1, 2, or 3 seed. I think that's going to be Marion Local and Fort Loramie and some of the respect for the Blue Bloods. But as long as they can finish anywhere in the top 10, they're going to have a first-round bye and not have to play an extra game.
A bye is a win.
A bye is a win. That's exactly right. But here's the other interesting thing about New Miami, okay? With 10 teams getting byes, that means the 8-9 game and the 7-10 game, both teams in that game will have a bye in Week 7, or I guess they could even play the game in Week 7 and have a bye the next week if they want to. They would then be slated to schedule in Week 8. Home field advantage is going to be used all the way through at least the regional semifinals. So if New Miami is the 11 seed,
Okay.
they will have to play the number 22 seed, the worst team in the region, whoever that is voted for. That game would be here at Mara Field for the right to be able to go on and play the 6th seed in the next round. Would be a road game against whoever is number 6. Might be up at New Bremen. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I don't know if New Miami wants to play New Bremen again. Revenge.
I'm sorry. You're going to play them at some point. If you want to win a state championship,
Yes.
you're going to have to play whoever shows up. And the deeper you go into the playoffs, the more New Bremens and Marion locals you're going to see. That's just the way there is to it. There's no way around that. So as an 11 seed, you get a home game.
Okay.
You play in Week 7, which New Miami would probably like to have.
Yeah.
And, a very easy opponent, but you're still playing. You're still
And
staying
you get
sharp.
to play on your
You
grass
play on
field.
your grass field.
And a lot of people probably aren't used to grass fields.
If
a lot of
you get
schools.
the 9 seed or the 10 seed, then you get a bye, which, as you correctly say, a bye is a win. But then you don't get a home playoff game at all. You're starting on the road at number 8 or at number 7.
Okay.
And if you're obviously seeded 7 or 8, then you're getting that home game and the bye. It's if you're the 6th
I'll tell you,
seed,
being a smaller school, you want to buy. So that's one less game to worry about injuries.
That's true. That's
You know.
true. If you're the 6th seed, then you get the bye and the home game, but you don't know for sure who you're playing because you have to wait, but you will get film of that matchup. You could even maybe, I don't know if you can send a scout to it or not based on COVID regulations if they're going to allow
It's
that.
a unique year. That's all you can say.
There are lots of angles at which you can approach this, and depending upon how many, 22 teams in Division 7, Baden Rams have 26 teams. That means only 6 teams will get buys. I got to think Baden and Broadbrook will be 2 of those that end up getting the buys.
Probably Alter.
Maybe. I mean, Alter's lost twice.
Yeah.
Clinton
that's
Massey
true.
got them. So Alter, I mean, by their score against the Rams and by scheduling Clinton Massey is going to garner some respect.
Yeah.
They may be one of those teams with a record that is not quite as strong, but gets seated a little bit higher based on reputation and based on, hey, we see the scores there. So this is where you're harbing points, and you might actually venture away from your Joe Idol a little bit.
And if McNicholas beats Alter, then, boy, that would really change.
Well, yeah, if
things.
McNicholas beats Alter, then you're not going to see Alter in that conversation way up high. But
you're going to see McNicholas up there.
well, McNick will be in Division 4, but you'll see them up there along with Roger Bacon, and you'll see them up there along with Brookville.
What's Bacon's record? Do you
Bacon
know?
is undefeated as well. They are
Wow.
also 3-0. So Brookville and Bacon are the 2 that are being talked about in Division 4 right now. But McNicholas can make a claim as well. If they can get a win over Alter in Week 5 before the vote happens, that's going to be a very strong statement to the other coaches. Hey, we're McNicholas, and we just beat Alter. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Division 1, though, all the way up there in Division 1, Western Hills has opted out.
Okay.
So they have a 17-team region.
Okay.
Which means that there will be 1 first-round game. Number 16 against number 17.
That's the play-in game.
That's the play-in game. It's basically the way the bracket works.
They're going to play that up at UD Arena in Dayton. They're going to bring in a grass field.
I love it.
No.
But 15 teams in that
We
bracket
joke
will get
about that
buys.
because we always go to the play-in game.
Oh, the first
every year.
4. Well,
The
always
first 4.
except for 2020, apparently.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do that last year.
Neil, we missed the first 4 games.
Oh, my gosh.
That was rough. Neil's
Great
my
stuff.
cousin.
My dad.
Yeah, Joel's dad. Group of many of us go up there and we watch. Give us what's your favorite first 4 moment? I think it was when Xavier played.
NC State.
Yes.
They got booed by the Dayton Flyers fans. They're not even in the same conference. They don't play each other anymore, but the Dayton fans have not forgotten.
No.
I will say the very first year they had a first 4, I actually picked Virginia Commonwealth as an 11 seed to go all the way to the Final 4, and it happened.
Oh, my God. What?
From first 4 to Final 4.
How do you pick an 11 to get there?
I had seen VCU play that year, and I was
Okay.
extremely impressed with Shaka Smart's boys.
Ah.
And they were good. Actually, I think I only picked them to go to the Elite 8. I think I chickened out against Kansas in the Elite 8.
Well,
and had
it's hard to
Kansas in the
pick
Final
against
4.
Kansas.
It is. It really is. So
Looks like we're ready.
we're taking the field. I don't think we're even going to have time to go to commercial break here, Dan. It's a quick halftime, and
That was a fast one.
how about it? Talking a little playoffs, a little high school football. We didn't even really get into too much NFL talk.
No, we didn't. We'll save that for next week. We'll have another week of games to. I'll tell you though, I do. Once again, I do like Burrow. Bengal fans. He is the future. I like him. He can run. He can throw. Just a mature kid. That was a good draft pick. It was obvious to pick Burrow number 1, I think.
Very much so. I mean, Burrow, he's going to be good. They got to get him a good offensive line. That's the thing that still needs to happen. I would have played Dalton this year and kept him and
Oh,
kept
wow.
Burrow sitting for a year just because of the offensive line being so
We got
bad.
a squib.
Little bit, it goes to Hunley. Hunley's got some room.
Wow.
A little bit of a seam. Runs into number 11, Jaden Strong. And Strong was strong enough to get him to the ground.
Strong enough to hold him for 7 yards there and finally pull him to the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
What field position they have here.
St. Bernard Elmer Place has had the field position advantage for most of this game. Special teams advantage, Titans.
If they had a kicker, they would be up 11-8 right now.
That's true. That's very true. Maybe 10-8. Maybe 10-7. Changes everything, doesn't it, Deanna? You go for the extra point, not the 2. New Miami goes for the extra point, not the 2. They might be up 10-6 right now if they had a kicker.
Oh, my. Either way, they're going to start out first down here at the 33-yard line.
1st and 10 on the bird line. Hunley, toss sweep. Parker tucks it up inside.
We got a flag.
Tug Jones
2
makes
flags.
the hit. Tug's feeling pretty good about himself. He's got a bounce in his step as he gets up, and there's going to be a flag to boot, as you say, Dan. Let's see who this penalty is on. I'm guessing the Titans.
I'm going holding.
I think that's probably a pretty safe bet there. Referee says blindside block.
Wow.
That might be a 15-yard penalty.
So is that a that's the NFL rule, and now they moved it in high school too,
Crack
I
back,
see.
as they say, right?
Yeah.
All right, so they're going to move back, it looks like 15 yards, all the way back to the 49-yard line. This is the second time in 3 drives that St. Bernard Elmer Place has been down deep into New Miami territory and has ended up penalizing themselves back out to midfield. Pistol formation. Hunley looking long, well overthrown.
Intercepted. Oh, he cannot
by
stay on his
Jordan
feet.
Robinette, and Jordan was tripped up accidentally, and this is a total accident by Brandon Civerella, who was undercutting him on defense there. Jordan Robinette, the safety, saw that all the way, and if he could have kept his ground, he might have gained another 30, 40 yards or more.
Absolutely. That's what. Yeah, I was happy for the interception for him, but it's a shame he couldn't have kept his feet and ran 30 or 40 yards because it was there in front of him.
He might have had a lot of room there, and Jordan Robinette's used to running in space. Halftime score in the GCL Co-Ed. Alter leads Carroll 42-0. Welcome back, Alter.
There's a 2 Alter team maybe getting a 3 seed. We'll
They're trying to make a statement there. Handoff up the middle. Is that Spivey? I can't see.
Yes, it is.
1 yard gain there.
All I know is if you
most.
can't see, just say Elijah Miller on the tackle. and it was
Spivey's
Elijah
left
Miller.
arm is still hurting again.
Yeah.
He's in some pain.
It's the same left arm. I wonder if he's got a sprained wrist. Boy, he's
holding the wrist and the elbow, isn't he? It's like
Yeah.
kind of dangling. It's not a shoulder injury necessarily, but kind of at the elbow joint, it looks like.
Yeah.
Nathan Civerella is going to come back in there to play running back as Trey Robinette gets the play and now comes into the huddle and tell him what it's going to be.
And there's the unusual sight of the center bringing the ball up and then laying it on the beanbag.
Trey Robinette has got Civerella next to him at running back. Duncan's at the top of your screen, man in motion. And it's a jet sweep to Jerry Hilton.
Nice effort there by Jerry Hilton.
Stretch the ball out for about 3 yards there. It's going to be a 3rd down and about, 5?
Yeah, 5.5.
5.5. 8-8 here in Merrifield. Joel Sackenheim, Dr. Dan Vogt. Glad to have you with us here on the
glad to be here.
report. Your first trip to the village, right?
This is nice. Well, I've been here before. I mean, I've ate a Red's hamburger here and there.
I need to have a Red's hamburger.
Absolutely.
That needs to happen.
They're back to the original, as the broadcaster said across from me.
The clock keeper says they're back to the original. I will have to try a Red's hamburger. How late do they open tonight? They're already closed. They close when the game starts. That makes sense, actually. Jordan Robinette, jet sweep. That's going to shut down that drive right away. Greg Miller on the tackle.
Nice play by Greg Miller. He is playing like a beast for a sophomore. He must have been a super stud freshman because he's come right in playing well.
All right, 4th down.
Looks like I'm going to see a punt here.
Jerry Hilton is going to probably punt the ball as the new Miami special teams unit comes on.
See if Sakeem Hunley goes back. Yeah, he's on his way back. And then they got Jaden Wood also. I say you kick it out of bounds so neither one of those guys get
Those
the ball.
both are very, very special return men. Elmwood
And he
Place sends
kicks
a
it out of
one-man rusher.
bounds. Nice call. Nice.
10-yard roll, 13-yard roll.
That's a very effective punt.
Down by Donovan Howard there, right at the feet of Zakeem Hundley, and that is where Hundley's offense will take over.
That's a 40-yard punt with no return. You can't ask for any more than that.
9:04 remaining here in the third quarter of play. 8-8 ball game between the St. Bernard Elmwood Place Titans and the New Miami Vikings.
If you like defense, this is your game. I'm wondering if there's been any studies that show the transmission of COVID through a football. You know, we got this beanbag out there. It's interesting. You know, these guys are breathing hard out there. You know, if it was 10 degrees colder, you'd see the
breath on the field.
Yeah, like the old NFL films. But you know, that football, it's got to be carry. I guess the referees. It's for the referee's safety.
I guess.
Snap through his legs.
Hundley picks it up, does not take a knee.
I thought, all right,
Howard makes the stop there.
He took a hit instead. I like his bravado there. I thought maybe when he went back to grab the ball, I thought his knee was down. Is that what you were thinking too?
His knee was going down.
Okay.
And he had his hand on top of the football. And he kind of looked up. He had enough time around him to look up, and he decided instead of to go down with the knee.
If we go to the high-def camera, we can maybe see that his shin was down like they do in the NFL games. It's ridiculous. The guys can't score touchdowns anymore. Oh, his shin was down at the half-yard line. You see it every week. I know they want to get the play right, but it's frustrating, especially if it's your fantasy football
Oh,
player
my goodness. I
down
saw
at the half.
a couple of those Bengals-Browns touchdowns that were called back last night. I thought probably were touchdowns.
Yep, me too.
Going microscopic there. Hundley
rolling.
now scrambles left to Wood. Shakes up one tackle, and that's all
nice
he can get
play
through.
by New Miami.
That would be number 52, Preston O'Neill, wrapping him up, a lineman coming all the way out there to wrap up Wood on the tackle.
And Jordan Robinette also helping.
Absolutely. Third down and long.
Wood always makes the first guy miss. He is slippery, like you said earlier.
He is. Looks like Baden has taken a 28-0 lead over the, it says here, the Bishop Fenwick Falcons. As if anybody was confused about his rank back in the 1820s when Edward Fenwick was in charge.
It wasn't the Pope.
It was not an archdiocese, so therefore it was not an archbishop like Archbishop Alter or Archbishop McNicholas. Handoff up the middle to Lenny.
Lenny gets squiggied in the backfield.
Lenny Thornton does not have a whole
All right,
lot
do
of
you know
room
what
at
my
all.
squiggy reference is?
No, give me the squiggy reference. What do we got?
Lenny and Squiggy were characters on a show called Laverne and Shirley, which was a spinoff
we're
of
gonna
Happy
make
Days.
it.
Yes. So see, I'm really old.
Laverne and Shirley. I've never seen the show. I know the theme song.
Well, that's all you need, I guess. It's kind of a funny show.
I think they spoofed it at one point in time on The Naked Gun. Was it 33 1/3 or was it 2 1/2? It might have been 33 1/3.
I only know the first Naked Gun. Yeah.
Classic. O.J. Simpson.
Oh, yes.
As an actor.
Was he in a wheelchair on that one?
He was.
Yeah.
Nordberg.
That's right.
Isaac Drew.
He called for the fair catch.
Fair catch called for by Deanza Duncan. We'll come right back here after this quick break. 8-8 in New Miami.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
All right, it is 8-8. We are deadlocked here in the Village. 6:37 remaining in the third quarter of play. The Vikings now have the ball. Reasonable field position. The handoff, Spivey is still out, and I think that would be Nick Civerella.
Nick did a good Spivey impression there, though. He ran
did.
hard. Yeah, look at that. That's
Donovan Howard. It's number 12, not
6
10.
yards. 6 yards.
Howard is number 12. He's the one. He's normally playing slot receiver when Spivey was in there. Spivey has been out with a left elbow injury on 2 different occasions in this game.
Or a wrist. He's just holding his whole arm over there. If we had a sideline reporter, we'd know.
Looks like Brookville and Monroe have gone to the fourth quarter, 14-3 Blue Devils in that one. Handoff.
Ooh, hard
That's
hit.
back to Howard again. He's being dragged backwards. 3 Titans involved in that play.
But Elijah Miller was first on the scene.
Elijah Miller.
That's his 16th tackle tonight.
Jaylon Parker and the mystery man 59. We need to name him, Dan.
59.
59.
All right. He is, let's see.
We have any,
I'm trying
any,
to-
who
I'm
are the
trying to
most
think
famous
of a-
59s? I don't remember any
59,
59s.
yeah, I'm not thinking of a good 59.
There's not a lot of good 59s in history. I'm
He
wondering.
looks like Willie Lanier. That's a name from the past. He was a chief linebacker, number 63, but he's not a 59.
Here we go. 3rd and 4.
Slant.
RPO.
Oh,
Tried to hit Duncan. Slightly overthrew him. And another punting situation for the Vikings.
nice clean play by Zakeem Huntley there on defense. I mean, he could have lit him up. In the old days, he would have took his head off with a nice hit, and it would have been legal. But that's why, it's a smart play.
That's
I'm glad
right.
they got that out of the football game.
Lay off. Keep your players healthy as best you can.
Keep the concussions down.
Once again, Huntley and Wood, the two dangerous return
Nice
men back
punt
for the
last
Titans.
time. Let's see if he does it again.
Hilton.
Punt to the right, and it's going to squib a
End
little.
over end to Huntley. Receives it at the 29-yard
He's
line.
running hard.
Gets a block from Wood toward the right sideline. Cuts it up.
Great.
Good
Great.
tackle.
Yeah. I got him by the shirt tail.
Just hang on and don't let go. Please don't let go. It
Trying to
looks
see
like
who
that
made
was
the tackle.
Josh Woods
There you go.
on the tackle. Got
This is a
fistful of
punt
jersey.
fest here in the third quarter, Joel. Is anybody going to bust through, in your opinion?
Well, I wonder with New Miami, we saw that RPO.
Yeah.
And one guy that we've not called as much as we normally would call by this point in time is Deanza Duncan.
That's right.
We've actually called him more defensively than offensively. I know these two teams know each other. They play each other every year, but I almost wonder if they might need to find some way, be it a long throw or a slant pattern, to get Deanza Duncan free. He can run after the catch. That
Right.
might be the key for New Miami breaking this game open, is going to the pass.
Okay.
Pistol formation, handoff to Lenny Thornton.
Lenny was a Thornton there, boy.
Bowls his way through the New Miami defensive line for 6 yards. 2nd down and 4 for the Titans.
Under 5 minutes here in the third quarter.
Tug Jones coming off. Go ahead.
Still 8-8.
Still 8-8. There you go. Pistol formation again coming up. They've been in this formation for most of the night. Zakeem Huntley, the quarterback, and the running back behind him again is Lenny Thornton. And Lenny runs it up the middle for about 2 more yards. It's going to set up a 3rd and 2 as the Titans try to stay on schedule, Dan. Very important to just keep moving the chains, and that's all they're trying to do here, is just get a small handful of yardage and keep the offense moving.
I'd like to see a slant to Jaden Wood again. I mean, I was so impressed with that 85-yard play in the first quarter, but they seem to have gone away from it.
It broke open in that play.
Man.
That's been basically the entire offense
He's
for St.
got
Bernard all
one-on-one
night.
coverage down there. Once again with Deanza Duncan down there.
Under center for Huntley. Hands it off.
Oh, nice D. Oh, what an effort.
Greg Miller.
Oh.
Unbelievable play.
They're already signaling first down.
He got stuffed for no yardage, spun off of the stick, and got the 2 yards he needed.
Wait a minute. Interesting. Wait a minute. It is first down,
It's first down.
Okay. They're having trouble over there with the yard markers.
Again, with the estimation going to exact yard markers. No measurement required to get
That's
the ball
right.
exactly to the sticks. No more, no less.
I think it's because of COVID. They don't want the first down marker guys out there in the
There
middle
you
of
go.
that. There
Great
we go.
handoff. Roll out to the right.
Straight roll out.
Hundley,
Trying to do the moves.
2 yards downfield, still throwing a pump fake. Can't throw it from there, but he's going to try.
Good stiff arm, though, I'll tell you that.
It was nice. Gets out of bounds. We'll see if the clock remains stationary at 3:24 remaining in the third quarter of this very tight, defensive-minded ball game here in the Village.
You said they play every year, and they're playing right now like they know each other's offense. They know
Yeah.
exactly what play they're going to do. It's a chess match.
I think both of these teams are a little bit afraid of making a big mistake rather
Yeah,
than trying
yeah.
to make something happen.
It's almost like a field position war.
They're trying not to do something dumb.
There's a short play, but it's working.
Wood catches the ball, holds it like a loaf of bread.
All right.
Bonjour, Gaston. Is he dreamy?
All right, we got 3rd and 2. I'm going to guess Lenny up the middle.
All right. That's a
Because
good guess.
he's running hard. We'll see what happens. If he's even out there, we'll see.
One thing I've noticed in these short yardage situations is they tend to, and you'll appreciate this, they're in the pistol for most of these plays,
but they
tend to go under center for these less than 2 yards necessary.
Yes, that's smart.
And that will indeed be the case here for
There's
Hundley with
Lenny in the
right
backfield.
behind him.
It might be a sneak. Nope, it's Lenny.
It is.
Boom! Oh, my goodness gracious.
Blake Hart.
Blake Hart knew Lenny was getting that ball. He heard me talking. My goodness.
I guess he also could guess where that ball was going, Dan.
Well, if you're going to run Lenny, spread it out, put 4 wideouts out there, do something. I mean, it was like macho, and Blake Hart was the man.
Oh, my gosh.
The crowd was roaring. Limited crowd that it is because of the coronavirus. There's still a nice, loud crowd here.
We're going to be down below 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter when the time this ball
now
is snapped.
let me ask you this, Joel. If you try a field goal here
Yes.
and it's no good,
Yes.
New Miami would get the ball at the 20, right?
That is as best as my understanding is.
Okay, so this would be the perfect opportunity where they could do that.
Yes, it would.
I mean, it would be a 60 – well, let's see. Where's the ball at right now?
44-yard line.
44
at
17.
61.
61-yard field goal. It obviously would be no good, but in high school football, if you miss a field goal, the ball is placed at the 20.
That is what I understand it to be. The other thing that I have heard, that's what I understand from Dick Ballard, who's been coaching for a long time.
We got to ask a coach this question.
I also looked this up online to see if I could
Okay.
get some answers online, and the other preeminent answer I was seeing was that it works like a free kick, like any other free kick. So, like if you were to kick it out of bounds,
right,
at like the 30-yard line,
right,
the other team would get it where it went out of bounds around the 30 rather than at the 20. So
Okay.
I'm hearing some conflicting opinions from what I've heard from Coach Ballard and what I've read online on the Reddit type of forums.
Okay.
So I don't know what would happen here, but Isaac Drew is going to go ahead and punt the ball.
Yeah, St.
regardless.
Bernard's going to punt it, which let's see if they can get it from the 20 inside the 20.
That's a booming kick.
That's a great kick.
Over the head, or Duncan's going to pick it up.
Nice play.
Bold play.
Oh, my gosh. He's
and they
going.
got him loose.
He's got a block.
Here's the last
He needs
block.
another. He's got another block.
All the way to the end zone. He better not slow down.
Oh, nice effort.
The
oh,
punter,
my
Isaac
goodness.
Drew, caught him inside the 5-yard line.
Isaac Drew, good hustle.
Oh, no.
There's a flag.
Our clock keeper. What's our clock keeper's name? Does she have a name?
Susan, Johnny on the spot. She caught the.
She sees a flag all the way back at the 45-yard line, and so it was a great return for Deanza Duncan. He's got his hands on his hips. You can't see it on the screen because our cameraman's showing the flag here. Deanza's about the 5-yard line with his hands on his hips going, you got to be kidding me.
As hard as scores are to come by here, to have that flag thrown.
Oh, my gosh, and I don't know that it was a completely necessary flag.
Well, we did video. We're on live television. I mean, we can't rewind it. We can't do a.
Right. You guys watching at home, that when the game is over, you go back and watch this, you can rewind to that play and see if you can see that block in the back was the official call there. So instead of New Miami starting the ball inside the 5-yard line, knocking on the door, they're going to be starting at their own 35, which is still not awful field position, but nothing compared to what they thought they were going to have.
What a smart play by Deanza Duncan there, picking that punt up.
That was courageous because that could have easily been flubbed and blown up in your face too. That's I'm going to make a play for my team because my team needs a little bit of a spark, and he darn near did.
Oh, well, he did it. It's just he didn't get a block.
Oh.
An incorrect block was on the play.
Oh, my goodness. So here we go. New Miami's got the ball. Minute and 38 left to go in the third quarter of this very tight 8-8 ball game. Hard fought here. Trey Robinette.
It's always tight, says Susan.
Always tight, says Susan. Hand off to Donovan Howard.
Oh, my goodness, the flags are flying.
Extracurricular.
I'm telling you what, I think some harsh words. I think we're going to have a personal foul. I'm gonna say it's on St. Bernard the way they're walking back. They look a little. Number 2 is like, I didn't say it.
I think somebody just found out there was a Supreme Court opening. Wow.
I think Sakeem might have.
Little animosity inside there.
We'll see what they do.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, Titans. And so 15 yards will be added to the end of that Donovan Howard run. and it'll be a 1st and 10.
A little frustration there.
And you cannot afford that in an 8-8 ball game like this.
No, you can't. That's going to take it all the way up near midfield.
Wow. At the 50-yard line on the dot.
There you
1st
go.
and 10 for the New Miami Vikings with 1:31 now remaining in the 3rd quarter of play.
You almost have a feeling like whoever scores is going to win the game. I mean, the way the defenses are playing.
Very, very big drive here. All right, so man in motion, formation legal. Checked with the side judge for that. Another man in motion. That's Jordan Robinette. Trey's going to use Jordan as a lead blocker. Jordan
Nice
gets one
block.
guy.
Nice speed.
And Trey very, very well follows his brother for another 1st down. Good read there for Trey Robinette using his brother. That was, you could run an option on that, but certainly there was no plan on doing that. Jordan was clearly running around to be a lead blocker.
You can see why Trey Robinette is the man for New Miami, showing that great speed going around the right end there.
Standings right now, Lockland is the only well, I shouldn't say the only undefeated team. Lockland is 3-0 in the Gray Division of the Miami Valley Conference. They're not the only undefeated team. New Miami and Clark Montessori do not technically have a conference game in yet. So
Okay.
they're
All
also
I know
undefeated.
about Montessorial school is that they always close first with snow.
Do they?
Yes. A little trivia.
Montessori is an interesting educational style, that's for sure. All right.
Blitz
Man
up
in
the
motion.
middle. Blitz
Trey.
up.
Screen.
Screen pass. Oh.
And a wise drop or an accidental drop that turned out to be wise for Donovan Howard?
Yeah, he would have lost about 4 yards, so it was wise that it wasn't completed.
Yeah, had he caught it on his feet, that would have been a different story. But when you're diving for the ball, you don't want to catch it behind the line of scrimmage, that's for sure.
Down to minute 19 in the 3rd quarter here. We're still at 8-8.
Dan, Montessori education for stylistically
Yes.
is all about student choice.
Okay.
You normally see it. You see it a lot more often with the younger levels, kindergarten-ish, first
So
grade-ish.
do they choose recess for all their
Limited choice amongst a few selected options.
limited choice? That doesn't sound like choice. Here we go.
Robinette to the slant to Duncan, and he dropped the ball.
Oh, he dropped the ball.
Yep. But like they'll have stations set up for like math station. You'll need to spend 20 minutes at a math station.
Okay.
They'll have 5 different mathematical activities you can do there, and you got 20 minutes to interact with it. Pick the ones you want to.
Joel was a former teacher, so he knows all about this.
That's right. So St. Ursula Villa actually had some Montessori kindergarten going on, and I got to sit in on some of that and see kids choosing the type of activities they wanted to do, all within certain parameters.
And it works for the most part.
Yeah, they like it.
That's
They
good.
like it. Trips receivers now to the left side of
Big
the
3rd
formation.
and 10 coming up here. Let's see what New
After
Miami
2 incomplete
can
passes.
do.
They are trying to break out the passing game. Robinette over the middle.
Nice.
That's Deanza Duncan, who was thrown out of bounds legally by
Yeah,
Zakeem Hunley.
they were yelling. They wanted a little tacked on to that.
He was thrown out of bounds, but both feet were in bounds when that throw began. That was
he
a
started
totally
the contact.
legal hit.
It was legal. I agree.
Down to 1:09 left in the 3rd quarter here. The plot continues to thicken.
Huge play there by New Miami.
Over at the Hornets' Nest, Brookville is now opened up to a 27-3 lead against the Monroe Hornets.
Lakota East still trying to get that first win. They're 28-19 over Princeton in the 4th.
Be a big win for them.
It would be huge.
Hamilton Big blew up 27-7 over the Oak Hills Highlanders. We might see an Oak Hills Middletown game in that 16-17 matchup in Division I, Region 4. Trey Robinette, this is a design quarterback power. And he's got a lot of yardage all the way to the end zone. Are you kidding me?
Wow. What a run. What a run.
That was a designed quarterback run. You could see the way St. Bernard lined up on that play. They had linebackers that were outside. They're now worried about the pass because New Miami's got the passing game going and left a big hole right there, gaping open through the center.
I like it. The cheerleaders pop the confetti. It's flying all over the place. You don't see confetti in games very much anymore.
Let's see if New Miami goes
Grass
for 2 here.
field, confetti, it's good stuff.
Trey Robinette's coming onto the field. That tells us absolutely nothing. Whether it's going to be a fake extra point, a real extra point, or a go for 2. You're not going to tell anything until they break the huddle.
I want to see him kick, just because I want to see a straight-on kicker.
And it looks like with St. Bernard Elmwood Place not having a kicker themselves, New Miami is going to choose to go for 2 here.
Interesting.
Might as well, because St. Bernard's going to go for 2 no matter what happens if they end up
that's a good
scoring
point.
later on. Looking for a route in the end zone. It's intercepted.
And they immediately blow the play dead because in
Jalen
high
Parker.
school you can't run it back for 2 going the other way.
That is correct. That's the only level that still remains, I think, at this point in time, other than maybe Pee Wee, where you
Wow.
can't do that. So, third quarter.